Well, hey, everybody. How's it going? I'll give myself a round of applause. Welcome to Tuesday Night Fistivities, the 1 year anniversary show. We have been on for 52 episodes. This is episode 52 that Renato and I have done. It's kind of amazing that we've done that many, that we've been together that long, that he's stuck around, frankly, that I've not been fed up. But here we are. Who knew? So anyway, tonight our dear friend Alan Jouban will be joining us. He knows both me and Renato from years back. So this should be fun. I know they have a history. I think it's always been amicable between them, but you never know with Renato. He's always picking fights or getting in, maybe not picking fights is not it, but finds himself, let's just say sometimes, in some interesting dynamics, right? So anyway, good to see everybody here. Okay. Happy. Oh, thank you, Andy. Thank you. Happy 1 year anniversary. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty exciting. Hey, Jesus. Saludos to you. Okay. Yeah, congratulations. Great job. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So here we go with the show. So by the way, if you guys didn't know, the theme song that is done actually by my big brother, Dane. So if you're over on Instagram, you should follow him at Six String Guy. He wrote the theme, and he's a really good guitar player. So it's kind of cool. So anyway, keeping it in the family. At any rate, Alan Jouban will be here. And listen, some of the things, let me show you what we are going to get into tonight. Let me show you the hit list for this evening because I've got it right here. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk to Alan, of course, which will be really fun. So he and I used to do a podcast together a while back, and we did one for quite some time. And I love the guy, and I get to see him a lot now at work with UFC. He's at the desk with me a lot. Excuse me. So I see him quite often, and we were just over in Paris together. We can talk about that. He's just such a great guy. So we will catch up on that, and maybe together with him, we can talk about the fights that went down this weekend. Either way, we will get into Cory Sandhagen's win over Song Yadong. That was quite a fight. And we will talk about the cuts that went down that evening with Song Yadong as well as Gregory Rodriguez. They were kind of gnarly. So we'll talk about that, though. Get into some of those fights if you guys want to talk about those fights. And listen, we will then have our kind of share some thoughts over the last year, maybe remind you guys of some of the guests. I meant to print it out. I'll just have to read it off my computer. The guest list of some of the people that we've had, because the great thing is that I feel like, each week there are new people coming. And so maybe you don't even know some of the people that have already been on the show. And so we have a lot of great episodes. Obviously, if this is our 1 year anniversary, it's actually not the calendar anniversary. It's because that already passed. But this is the 52nd episode, so therefore marking a year of shows. So this will be kind of the season finale, which reminds me, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Amazon Music, and just look for Tuesday Night Fistivities there. You can download the show. There are all of the episodes are not up there yet. There are a bunch of them, and I'm going to keep loading like backwards. Do you know what I mean? Kind of counting backwards and loading. So I think I've got down to like from episode 37 or 38 forward or something like that so far. So that gives you plenty to go back to anyway for now. Then I will, I'll upload some more this week. And this one that you're listening to right now will be available even later tonight, even if depending on how I feel after the show. If not, it'll definitely be up tomorrow. Anyway, we'll kind of go over some of the memories and just kind of share some thoughts of the last year. And then, talk about the GOAT, Jose Aldo has retired. And we just kind of share our thoughts. I feel like, everybody likes Jose Aldo, right? Like there's no, and if you don't, there's the door. Come on. So I feel like we could talk about Jose Aldo and just about how awesome he is. And just I just love him. He's just awesome. Like I shared some pictures of us on Instagram, one from several years back. I mean, both of them were from a little while ago, but one was from, like a media day interview, and one was from uh, us at backstage at, I think it was UFC 200. I was doing the interviews, and he's just, I said, if I were a fighter and I would want to fight like Jose Aldo. You know what I mean? Anyway, we'll get into Jose Aldo, and then there's some other news actually that I can get into some of this or whatever. Can you get a yer? Can you get a yer, Ray Torres? Okay, hey, Dustin Freeman driving from Phoenix to Dallas Fort Worth right now. I'll be listening, but it won't be chatting. Love you guys. All right, Dustin. Hey, safe driving. Yeah, don't try to type in any more than that. But yeah, great. Yeah, the original Aldo. That's right. Exactly. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is your first time tuning in, Joseph Howell. That's insane. Welcome to the party. Why aren't I at the Dana White's Contender Series? I know I don't work on that one. It's cool though. I know, I think when we started this, there was, it wasn't during a Contender Series or season. So yeah. So nice. Fernando got their drink ready for the 1 year. Yeah, I have a little mini champagne here, and I had a part of a bevy here that I was working on before. So I'll figure that out. At any rate, okay, let me. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. At some point, Hanata will be here along the way. Yeah, it will be, Tim, an honor for Jouban, exactly, to be in the presence of someone as attractive as Hanach. Really? You think? Wow. I thought that was going to go somewhere else when I started reading that. Randy Rabata, I don't know. When will the 27-time champ be here? Brazilian chimey. Okay, listen, this is what we like to see here. Cole McIntosh saying, awesome show. Started watching a couple of weeks ago and haven't missed a show yet. See, that's what I love to hear. That's what I love to see. So yeah, go and explore the back catalog. You can, if you're seeing this on YouTube, which it seems like, if I'm talking to you guys here, a lot of you are on YouTube. I don't know if you guys are on, if I see any on Twitch yet or whatever. But yeah, they are all here on my YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist of them. So you can just do that. Like I said, go in reverse order, start at the beginning or whatever. The first one, we didn't have a guest, but the first one had some hilarious, that's when Renato literally had me in tears with his Patty Pimblett impression. And it was the oh, I snorted. Oh no. That's a little secret about me. I snort. That was the cash cow. Oh God, good times. Anyway, we've had some fun on this show. We really have. So if you are new to it, please do explore. Go back and look at some of the old episodes because we've had some fun, and just a killer guest list. Like it's just a killer guest list. Yeah. Yeah. Is he single? Wreak Havoc. That is something that I do ask. I don't want to be on a dating app. So I'm pretty single because apparently I got to be on a dating app. But you know why I'm not on a dating app? Because you know who's on a dating app? Guys like this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome in 27-time world jiu-jitsu champion, Mr. Renato Laranja. Hello. Hi.
And we begin to hawk steady hawking all night long. You would be so lucky to have. Imagine you on a dating site, and then you're like, next. Oh, caray. And then you look at that one and you go, what's his deal, porra?
And you think I'd swipe on you? You think I'd?
You know what you would do? You would send like a thirsty like hand that's like waving like hey or whatever.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I'd be like, hey yourself, and then I don't say shit after that, and you wait like a couple hours, and then you're like, so what's up? What's up? Or whatever.
A couple hours.
What's your deal or whatever?
Is that how fast those dating apps work? A couple hours?
Well, you're gonna be fast on that one because you can't even help yourself.
I thought you were going to say a couple days. I don't know how they work. Which ones would Renato Laranja be on?
Black people meet each other. Light-skinned people.com, J-Date, Farmer Almanac, all kind of shit like that. Christian Single, you know, any fucking stuffs. I can pretend I'm into Christians. I can pretend I'm into whatever
Farmers
you got.
only.
Jewish, whatever. Rastafarian, I don't give a fuck.
Are you on Farmers Only?
I am on that one. Yeah, because guess where I tell them my farm is for when they ask.
Back in Brazil.
No, it's in the Hillshire. It's in the Shire, Hillshire.
Not in the...
Oh, caralho. The world's finest kill. The world's finest bassa or kill.
The Bassa Farm. Hey, so congratulations on our 1 year anniversary, Renato. That's exciting. So yeah, what are you having? I have a little champagne I was gonna pop.
So I haven't been drinking, you know, aside from at functions and stuff like that.
This is a function.
Exactly. So this is it. What I'm drinking is tequila, but the ice cubes is like chunks is cubes of passion fruit for smoothies instead of ice.
Aren't you
so
just
when
like...
it melt? Oh God, that's how I get my vitamin C for. Huh?
Nice. Okay, well, cheers to our 1 year anniversary.
Cheers to you. Hey, cheers to you. Look how we've came. Look at what happened to us.
Look at who knew from just a little idea.
We've become success, and it's
look at what we've become, Renato.
Oh, hold on.
Look at what I want to sing you a song. I got a new toy.
You see, this is bad because if I got my hands on something like that, it's over.
Happy anniversary.
It's your anniversary.
Wait.
You know what? Wait. I want to see some more light on you. I want to see a little more.
What?
I want to see a little more light. I want you to kick it up one more notch.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I want that one.
I need more light.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you need more light.
No, you just want me to bend over. I'm into your tricks, Renato.
Huh? Oh, God. Oh, let me see you breast assist.
No.
Imagine if you died tomorrow and you never showed me your breast assist.
I can't imagine that.
But imagine at your funeral, it's gonna be a shame. It's gonna be like, wow, she grabbed life by the horn, but she didn't live for today, for her.
Is that better though, lighting wise?
Yeah. You need to grab life by the horn of plenty.
By the horn of plenty. Is that right? Okay. Well, listen. I believe that. Wait. Put
more lighting on there.
No, this is good. Are you serious?
Yeah, we want to see your beautiful face and stuff.
You can see me.
It looked like I'm in like a Hollywood movie cameras, and you look like you at the PGA meeting.
I have less light than I usually use because I thought, you know what? I thought
no one want to see you shine.
Sometimes I look at my little tan lines from yesterday. Those were I was only out for a little while too. I tan very quickly.
Wait, so for a second.
I have less light on than usual. I have less light on me than usual. Why? I can add more the lights that I usually use, but I thought it actually would be better to have less light because I think sometimes with the other lights, I tend to come out a little bit green, whereas your skin tone is a little warmer, and I think it looks a little warmer now for me.
Yeah, it's just that I would love to see more of it. I would love to see more of some of the quality of your hair. I would like to see some highlights, frankly.
Are you being facetious? I can't tell if you're being serious.
I'm not being facetious. I would like to see more of your highlights. I would like to see, because to be honest, I can't even tell that your hair have that auburn flavor. It just looked almost black. Yeah, now Look at how you can see the shimmering qualities when it's up. Maybe it just means you got to get closer, I guess.
I mean,
let them to see the Pantene Plus on
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Also, the BO5 hot oil treats.
At any rate, I think we're good. But we should get to our guest.
We should get to our guest for her.
But,
is he here?
Yes, he's been here. I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged our 1-year anniversary first, is all.
Hey, we gotta get it. Did you hire Johnny to play? It's our anniversary or whatever.
It's I'll sing it to you later with my magic.
It's your anniversary.
At any rate,
it's your anniversary.
We used to do a podcast together. I work with him at the desk.
Who?
With
you
UFC
did a podcast with Jouban before you fucking did one
and
with me?
ESPN, yes. And I know you go back as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former UFC welterweight, Mr. Alan Jouban.
Oh, God.
What up, homie?
Oh, my God.
How's it going?
First
what
of
took
all,
so long?
I know. I'm sorry. I just had to make sure we had our anniversary acknowledgement, and then he was telling me my lighting was all messed up, so I wanted to make sure it was right.
I like the in there because Alan can't afford the accoutrement. Look at that plant there.
I like the PTA line. That was pretty good. You look like you're in a Hollywood movie. She looks like she's in a PTA meeting.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Hey, listen,
Wow.
I look like I got them Hollywood cameras.
You guys both have good lighting, actually. I look kind of blurry on mine.
Well, that's how we like you because people got the misconception that you are fine and stuff. But when they look at that, if Armani, Giorgiano, Armani, or whatever saw us, both of us now, and he's thinking about his next campaign, he's gonna be like, "Carajo, who's this Mohawken gentleman here?" and then who's this Chinese fellow in the dark over here? Oh, carajo,
man. Renato, you knew I was coming on, right? Or
yeah,
was it a surprise? Did KB like surprise guest?
No, he knew. He knew.
No, okay. I knew because we was like, who are we gonna get? Carajo, no one's answering the calls. Fuck.
Now I know.
No.
Let's get Jouban. I guess we could get that guy.
No. He's so full of crap. Full of crap.
Renato has the shirt unbuttoned. I feel like his hair is trimmed up. The lighting. I feel like he went above and beyond because he knew I was coming on. KB always looks good.
I think he's a little competitive with you, if I'm honest.
Listen, those days is over.
Yeah, I think so too.
We used to compete on the Hunway in the Hunways of Milan.
And Is that Florenzo, right? Is that
Florenza.
right?
I remember those days.
I feel like now that we both hitchhire as models, I feel like we can kind of bury the hatch and we can finally kind of, like Muhammad Ali and also Joe Frazier. We can now, after all these years, we don't have to fight each other no more. We can just be like, remember when we was the best looking and I'm still the best looking?
Oh my God.
Man.
Guess which one is Ali and guess which one is Frazier? Check a wild guess.
Really? Really?
Hey, speaking of good looking, your boy Bohashinya, man, he's everywhere these days, right?
Never mind Bohashinya. Listen, I'm his idol. Plus,
I know
he's not only the president of Hair Club for Men, but he's also a client. Wow. Those hair plugs is more famous than he is. Bohan.
He was kind of a bad guy for a minute. Now I feel like he's everybody's best friend.
Everybody he's killing it now.
You know what he remind me of? Speaking of boxers that we was talking about, he's like George Foreman. Back in the day, he was like Darth Vader. Then he invent himself and become like everybody's favorite fucking uncle.
Yeah. It's true, right?
George Tyson. Look at Mike
Foreman
Tyson.
said the same thing, right? Everybody, if you see Mike Tyson in the street today, you go give him a hug, right? 20 years ago, probably not.
Well, God, you're taking
everybody was afraid of him.
I'm still not gonna give that guy a hug. He might fucking bite my fucking nose off.
No.
I had an encounter with Mike Tyson one time.
What'd you do to him?
Of all places, at the Playboy Mansion, okay?
Really?
Speaking of stupid stuffs and taking liberties with Mike Tyson. So it was a Halloween party, and I was dressed as Chubbs from Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
But I didn't even have a crockage. I just was Chubb. But the great stuffs about that night,
Alan, you could have been Crockett. You could have just put some a blonde
would
wig
have to
on, or like get
put
some
some
tips,
highlight in there.
frosted tips.
you got to put the highlight in there, but he wouldn't be a bad one. But then so I had my secret ingredient was I had a badge that looked like a cop badge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he said on there, Miami Vice, Pussy Inspector.
Oh, that's what he said? Mike saw that on yours?
Well, no, that's what my shit said, okay? So then I would stop people. I say, excuse me, miss, you on the... It was the cheapest gag for her. But, listen, it is what it is.
How well
But
did
then,
that work for you that night?
Well, you take a fucking wild guess, Karyn Bryant. Now here's the stuffs. I see at one point, I've had a little too much to fucking drink, okay? And I'm taking a breather like at these tables near like the DJ stops. And then I see over here who else is taking a breather and just completely by himself is fucking Mike Tyson. And he's dressed like a pharaoh. He have like a full pharaoh outfit, okay? But my dumbass, I'm drunk, okay? I look at him and I go like this. And then so he is like, okay. And then he gets up out of his seat. He comes. And then he go, and I go, and I point to the thing. Then he lean over and he go like this. And then he just go back to where he was at.
Oh, now, okay.
And it was just a beautiful, you know, like.
Oh, I thought it was a bad moment or something.
No, so it was great. No, but
good.
When I look back on that, the fact that I was so drunk was why I was like pointing at him and like, you come over here. I would never do that if I was.
I can't believe he actually came.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And he was so humble back then.
That could have gone so many bad fucking ways. You know what I'm saying? So I got lucky on that one. And I think if he had said the wrong stuff, maybe I wouldn't have got lucky. But he expected that the Pussy Inspector.
See, when I had ran into Mike Tyson once or twice in like Hollywood clubs back, like probably.
Oh, you mean them Hollywood clubs? Yeah.
Hollywood clubs 10, 15 years ago. But
yeah,
this
man,
is when
Hollywood clubs.
I'm not talking like that.
Hey, man, you know, I had met Mike Tyson back in Hollywood clubs. I mean, we was in Hollywood. I mean, there was tons of celebs.
That's not how it sounds. But he was still like a pit bull back then. Hold
on, we're only seeing half of your face, first of all. And can you blast us with a little more lighting? I mean, would it kill you?
Yeah, I know. I feel
because here's the problem. When
I feel super grainy.
Oh,
I'm gonna clean.
But more light would probably help that.
When I post this, your Uncle Hanach gonna look. He's gonna look
fabulous,
like this, and you're gonna look.
All
like
right, hold on. Let me grab my lighting. Let me see if I can get it closer.
What's that? A leather studded chair? What kind of stuff?
Somebody said he's at a brick oven pizza place.
Oh, he's at a place that do brick oven pizza and micro. No, he's at a BJ's. You know a BJ's? They sell
brick oven
in there.
Or Carl Strauss.
Wait, do I know Carl Strauss? God,
Carl Strauss is like Carl Strauss Brewery. They have like the on-site brewery.
Wait, do they have that at LA Lively?
Yeah, and like Universal
I don't know why
and stuff.
I'm grainy, man.
This is
mine's
better.
grainy. Oh well. Is it
grainy.
better? I put more lights
on.
on.
A little better. No, I like this better because I don't want to listen. I might joke about competition.
Too bright?
No, I feel like I don't want to outshine you. To be honest.
Whoa.
Listen, you still got your life ahead of you, and you got a lot of stuff, you know, in the works.
Come see.
Who you making kissy? That's not for me.
Look at this. Oof. Yes, Fernando. This is the podcast with the strongest jawlines.
Fernando.
Oosh.
Oh God!
And now the dog. Look at that dog.
Look at that big bulldog.
Wait, is this a new one?
Man. Okay, I don't remember the last time I've seen you, but
the last time I saw you was when you was going away party for you leaving LA, and it was God. I was rejoiced.
I've had this bulldog for like 4 years. So, but I don't remember the last time you came to my house. So I probably had my old bulldog.
So
He might
what
still be
was the
thinking of both.
original one? I forgot his name.
I had Buster and then Bodie.
Buster is who I'm thinking of.
Buster died in like 2018, so I don't remember the last time you went to my old place. But
it's been a
anyway.
minute since your old place. But the last time I saw you on the Flash was that party was going away for you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. On the Flash. Okay. I'm still getting my shit together. Sorry, guys. I haven't done like a podcast in a minute, to be honest, KB. It's been a while.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I would have thought that you'd still be. Yeah, I thought you were still doing stuff.
Well, we're trying to jumpstart your career by bringing you here. I
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more about like what's going on. So this is the 1 year.
So it was
anniversary.
1 year.
You don't watch every day?
Well, I see the highlights and I laugh a lot of them. But no, I haven't watched any of the shows. But I like the highlights.
I guess that's like seeing movie trailers. I don't need to see movies anymore. I just see the fucking trailers.
Everybody's got a podcast. It's like, well, we did one, obviously, everybody's got a podcast. We did one for a long time together.
Wow,
and then sometimes,
oh, you never watched them?
No, I did.
Support.
I did watch that one now that I think about it. Now, here's the problem. Why I gotta get you sloppy seconds, boy? You already hand through Karyn Bryant's fucking podcast skills.
Don't say that in the presence of a woman.
Wow.
Hey man, don't say that in the presence of a woman. Hey,
wow.
I don't know. I feel like your Louisiana accent it's got a bit of I don't know. It's like a California Louisiana. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. Because that's you.
But
I am California Louisiana.
It's a little bit of like I'm trying to think. There's a movie with a guy that sounds like that.
Well, no, I know there's a movie.
It's like Point Break or something.
No, because
the first one.
To me, you are Cajun Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, there's Marky Mark. There's a little Marky Mark in what you're doing.
Oh,
because let me tell you something. Now he's on. When he's on, he's going. Now we used to catch crawdaddies back in.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry. I'm
now,
so sorry.
His crawdads on you. Now he's gonna come up with the hush puppy, huh?
Hush puppies. It's evolved though. The voice has changed over the years.
Let me tell you something.
It's
Let
good.
me tell you something, Karyn Bryant. Now
he's Mr. TV now, Renato.
Yeah, he is Mr. TV at my expense. I could have been in there doing that stuff.
Oh, really?
And now they're bringing down.
Then really, why aren't you? I mean, usually we have prior, UFC fighters at the desk, but you think you could have been there?
I got a great question for you guys. Prior UFC. I got a great question for you guys. How come I watch you broadcast and I never see you even sprinkle in, the
love?
Well, hey, Uncle Hanach, he used to do that move. Or, as Uncle Hanach once said, I think it was Uncle Hanach who once said, a man is not you know what I mean? Like you could, would it kill you guys? I mean, is there against it?
You got the love once though, right? Remember was it the Fox desk where you went?
You were on our last show at UFC.
No thanks to you.
It was the last show,
by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, they figured if people called and complained that what we're going to do about it was already canceled.
To be honest, we
were already moving. It was when we were leaving for
ESPN. Producers told me, to be honest. No shit. But let me tell you something. Because I speak my mind, Poha. Because I'm here. I don't pretend to be some character. When you get with me, it's 100%. And
I'm playing a role up there.
The irony in that.
The ironing?
I'm playing a role.
Look, listen, you guys, especially him, he's the next GSP. No, you know who is the one? I fucking love GSP in every way, shape, and form.
But
the funniest shit, he do the same stuff that Hoy Jones Jr. does when he was doing you shushing me? When he's doing a broadcast, he's do the same thing. When he stopped talking and it's the other guy's turn, he go like this.
Oh no.
And he showed the teeth. It's the same stuff. You remember
You don't
Roy
like it?
Jones Jr.? He'd be like, and that's what he has
See,
to do.
I don't think so. We just were working with the great George St. Pierre when we were in Paris. He came and did the weigh-in show, like the pre-show with us, which was great. Like we were psyched. Alan and I were, we're like, we all just love him. So
I bet.
everybody's excited to be around him. Like you just, it's just fun.
Okay, you're hopping it in now.
What?
I said, stop hopping it in. Okay, we get it. He's great to be around.
No, and so wait, Alan, it was
Go ahead,
me,
Kimmy.
you, and Anthony.
Anthony Smith,
Right.
yeah.
Me, you, and Anthony, right? And yeah, so it was great. I mean, it was great having George there, but I don't feel like he oversmiled. I don't think
You know
so.
what I think though? I think what Renato's saying is at the Renato, are you talking about when he's being interviewed and he's kind of being real, or when he's trying to be an analyst or something like that?
When he's trying to be an analyst.
That's probably what it is. When he's an analyst, he might feel
Yeah.
a little not as comfortable. But when it's him at the desk, like in Paris, it was all about him. It was about us interviewing him. And so because in Paris, he speaks, and with his accent, or like, he is charismatic and like kind of passionate about what he's saying. So you're very intrigued.
He was in his element.
Yeah.
In gay Paris, just like you are. Ooh la la for her. But yeah. I mean, no, and it's a stuff. I understand the pain of that, because when you doing that shit, so it's like the stuff's here. The worst one to do, not so much on you guys' shit, but the situation where it's like the two guys that's doing the commentating of the fight, and they doing that stuff where they standing up, kind of introducing the card.
Yeah.
When you're done saying you shit,
I understand,
and the next person starts speaking, it is kind of awkward, because if you don't do something, you just look like this.
Yeah.
And you look like you're angry about something or whatever. So you have to do something. You have to either
you just actively listen, and you at least sort of engage the person that's speaking.
It's awkward because you're not supposed to look like, you're not supposed to just turn to the other guy. You're still supposed to be looking out to the audience, so it's awkward.
It's a little of both. You kind of work both ways.
So some people, you can tell they've been coached, and then they just start cheesing. They just go like this, and like Roy Jones, he's like, and that's what he needs to do.
So you know what I think the answer is though. Guys that haven't had 1,000 reps already, they say it and they're uncomfortable, so they put on the smile because they're not quite sure what to do. And then, but KB's right. If she asks me a question and I answer it directly, and then I throw it back to her, now I'm listening for her response to what's next. So it is an active conversation where I'm talking, I'm listening. I don't have to put on the smile.
That's different. Yeah. But when you're doing that presentational shit, like almost where you're selling the fight card, where you're where you're like, this is a great lineup. And let me tell you.
Yeah, we each get our turn to say a little something.
They got their fucking monologue to say. And while you're waiting for their monologue, you feel like you got your dick in your hand. You understand? That's how I feel when I do all the whatever Z-level fucking shows. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I used to do shows at like the Sportsman Lodge or whatever, I'd be like, let me tell you something. Porra, this is a great card of Armenian and Mexicans. And let me tell you something. It's going to be at the fucking, the Sleepy Inn Motel tonight and whatever. And then I'm like, and then the other guy go. And then I'm like this.
But you know what, man? It takes two to tango. Maybe you like with your dance partner, you weren't feeling it.
Hey man, it takes two to tango. And let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something.
So
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and listen.
Oh my God. Hey, so listen though, we should talk about this. The fact that excuse me, you are working the desk after retirement, but how scary was that for you? Because there's a few fighters right now. I don't want to name any names, but some fighters recently who a lot of people are saying like maybe they should stop. Maybe they're starting to get a little bit past their prime. Like maybe they shouldn't take any more damage type thing. So you had to make a decision. Obviously, already you did that. You walked away. You retired.
Wait, they said Alan Jouban was past his prime?
No, I'm
Oh,
saying, but you know, that's obviously a hard conversation to have with yourself, right? So yeah, how hard was that? And you know, it wasn't like you knew 100% that you were going to be able to work the desk right away. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure there was some uncertainty. Like you had some modeling, I know you've done some acting stuff, but like, how difficult was that to make that decision?
Were you holding back laughs right there, Renato?
no, it's excitement because she
Oh,
was talking
okay.
about your modeling and how it translates into your
Oh, I
desk
thought you were
work, and I
laughing.
thought to myself, wow, this is exciting stuff.
KB, see, I'm gonna throw it back. It was and look, me and KB used to do a podcast obviously for like 5 years, so
Yeah.
she
Oh,
heard a lot
five
of my
years.
concerns about about wanting to get into the broadcast space, especially
Yeah.
before I was retired. Because once you're retired, it's like the you know the energy's gone, it dims the light. So I was always trying to get in there, and I was thinking about it the other day. How I used to Zach Candido is our producer over at ESPN UFC, right? And he's the guy
Yeah.
that he pretty much hires us, puts us on the shows, he gives us our assignments, and I was emailing Zach once a month, and this went on for like 2 years, and
Lucky him.
yeah, I know. So it was to the point where I go, okay, this is probably getting too much, and you know, he would always give me a response. I go, man, like I want to get on there, Zach. You know, I want to share my knowledge with the people,
Yeah.
and this and that. I was always trying to sell myself, and he'd always kind of give me, you know, we have a lot of people, we're not really searching right now. It didn't work out. So I remember one day after like 2 years of this, I told Nicole, I said, look, I think I'm done harassing Zach, because I've probably done about as many spill my guts on the table, and nothing came from it one too many times. So I said, I'm gonna do one more, because there's one more fight coming up that I'm interested in. It was Anderson Silva was making his retirement fight. Who did he fought?
Exactly.
Uriah Hall. He fought Uriah Hall,
Yep.
and so I was about to give up
Favor.
on it, and I told
Favor.
Nicole, I said, I'm gonna email Zach and just let him know, look, Anderson Silva is a Black House guy. I trained at Black House. I've sparred Anderson numerous times. And he's the guy that I've probably studied the most, being a southpaw Muay Thai guy.
Right.
I know every move in his book. And so I shot that email to Zach. And then about a week goes by. And in the week of the fight week on Wednesday, Zach texts me and he goes, did you say you trained with Anderson? And I was like, oh my God. And somebody had fell off the card and
Yeah.
and brought me in, and it was me, Rashad Evans,
Oh,
KB,
Hashad.
and
Yeah.
we did the show. And so the rest is history after that. And after that, you know, they ended up signing me
It's
to
so
a deal or
great.
whatever. And so that's always my story of, if somebody asks me a question about persistence or staying with it or staying motivated, that's always the first thing to come to mind. And it brings up to what you asked me, KB. That was on my mind the whole time. The last couple of years of my fighting career, I go, God, if I could transition into broadcasting, it'd be so much easier to know I'm ready to hang up the gloves. But until I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing in my
Yeah.
life, I'm going to keep being that guy that's fighting and fighting. And I didn't want to be that guy that they were going, okay, dude, you're 40, 41, 42, you're on
Yeah.
a 4-fight losing streak. I didn't want to be that.
Oof.
So it worked out. Timing worked out perfect, and I was happy. I was just blessed that finally, you know, Zach gave me that opportunity, and worked out.
Listen, to be honest, I'm all jokes aside, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't, you know, I never heard this version of I never heard about this. I just started seeing you on there, you know, and for me, I always thought it was a fucking no-brainer, period, to have someone like yourself, because it's kind of like a you get your cake and eat it too. It's like you don't get this very often. Let's face it. And I'm gonna do something I don't usually do, but you're a good-looking guy, okay? And no, but good-looking enough to where you was fucking professionally modeling for her. But on top of that, the way you used to fight was somewhat of a Pohara style, tough guy style.
Yeah.
But I remember some of the first successes you had in the UFC was when you would knock somebody out against the cage, like, you know, one of those kind of fuck you, like, let's just get it, you know? So it almost seemed to me like, how can you not have a guy that look like this and have a great smile and he's fucking articulate? And Granch, he sound like He came from the bayou mixed with Mark.
Mixed with Mark.
Okay, but aside from that, he's looked like he's tailor made for this fucking shit.
Yeah,
I would think they would be begging you to do this, not the other way around. Like, oh God, we gotta have this fucking guy now.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. You know what it was? It's just it's competitive.
It's not just me.
It's such a competitive world, and KB knows this because she's been in the broadcast world forever. Like once I got into it, and I even found an agent. The agents are like, oh my God, these broadcast people, all they want to do is work. It's so competitive. Everybody wants to outdo each other. And I realized that once I got into it right away, because I thought everything you were saying, Renato. I was like, why would they not have me? I know how to talk about this. I've been in front of a camera for years. But I was realizing Zach had 25 guys on his list that were beating down the door as well.
Dude,
and a lot of them Hall of Famers, etc.
It's true. Everybody want to do it. But I would have thought that shoots you up the list, though, because let's face it, good-looking people get the fucking gigs before other fucking people. I mean, that's the way it goes. Look at even in the bartending world. You got two chicks who could sling fucking drinks. One's better looking than the other. Who you checking? I mean, if they got the same skill. Come on.
Right. They're going to assume the better looking one will be better for business. So.
Yeah. YKB upgraded from you to me on here. He speak for himself.
That was my thought the whole time.
Wow. That's not what happened. But
I'm gonna freshen up my drink.
Yeah, but it is incredibly competitive.
Yeah, it is. It's competitive. And even now that I'm in this cycle, I want to work every weekend, just like every other guy, right?
So do I.
And it's tough. Everybody wants to work. Everybody wants the big shows, the more prestigious stuff. But at the end of the day, like Nicole, my wife, for the viewers that don't know, she works at this spa here in Lafayette. And she was in the whatever, the coffee room, whatever they, and one of the workers were kind of messing with it. They go, oh, I wish I was Nicole. She goes to London one weekend and then France the next weekend, kind of joking. But those are the kind of things that made me realize like how fortunate I am. I want to work every weekend and I don't get to work nearly enough.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, I was dying for an email response. Now I got in on it. And then I just traveled to London and Paris within like a 2-month time. I got to bring my wife. And it's like, in a way, you got to sit back and go, man, I'm living the dream. I'm not working a 9 to 5. I get to go to fights,
absolutely,
call the fight when I get done. You leave there, and it's not the same thing as like fighting where you're like, you just feel like you conquered the world, but you still have a buzz. You still have a high from it that being in the environment and then talking to the fighters after and talking about the fighters, you absorb that energy and you go home with it and you're like, God, freaking, this guy killed it and this and that. And it's fun. It is addicting. It is addicting.
You part of it. I mean, when people see you, first of all, you got lots of fans everywhere. So both of you guys. And then when you feel, you see the way these people is hooting and hollering about this shit, you guys is part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if you was a session musician for fucking Taylor Swift or something like that, you're still on tour with Taylor Swift and you're still feeling the fucking applause and you're still part of the show, you know? So in a way, you guys is just you out there performing like a fucking band or whatever. So of course you're getting that.
You know what I think about? Go ahead, KB.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I mean, we are there a big part of it because, like you said, we're also telling the story and really translating a lot of things and explaining a lot of things and giving context to a lot of things to round out the storyline. And so it's like without the addition of what we do, you miss a lot. I mean, like I think we add a lot to the experience personally,
because we get to be the narrator of it, right? And that's why ideally one day I would love to get into the color commentary role, which is with Joe Rogan and DC.
I know it'd be so great to do play-by-play. I would love that.
You say Negro or African American commentary. You don't say color.
Wow.
I'm
that role.
He's okay. He's okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
To be honest.
I'll allow it.
Because when you're in that role, then like I always think about, you watch a Muhammad Ali fight, and you hear, what was it? Was it like Howard Cosell or
Howard
whoever it was?
Cosell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're the narrator of something that went down in history. And so to be a part of that, to be attached to it, is your call, your voice, your excitement that day that goes down in history as well. And so I think that's what makes people, I think that's what drives a lot of fighters to want to stay around. And the same thing in comedy. Like, you know, it always used to baffle me, and because and Renato, you were around Joe Rogan a bit. I mean, KB, you obviously were too, but like Joe Rogan used to hang around Eddie Bravo a lot, and so we used to see him. But I always used to think Joe Rogan at the time when we first met him, he's doing like Fear Factor, he's doing the UFC, obviously, but all these things. But then he would still go to the Comedy Store every Tuesday night or something and do these skits, and I was always like, man, why does he do these gigs that pay him millions of dollars, but then he goes do these gigs that pay him barely anything?
Yeah.
And I think it's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
It's that adrenaline, that rush, being on the ground floor with the people where you're there and you're working on your craft, right? You're working on your craft on the Sunset Strip, and then maybe you're testing it out and using some of this stuff on live TV or wherever things. But I think they get addicted to that adrenaline rush of having, you know, the crowd staying up late, getting off the stage and you know, going to have a cocktail with the other guys that night.
There's nothing like it. I mean, during the fucking during the lockdown and all that stuff, I mean, comedians was about to kill themselves because they so used to that energy that you get from that crowd, you know. And I mean, even myself, you know, even though I do these stuffs in the internet and the computer, the World Wide Web, I'm still do seminar and stuff like that. And for me, I'm in front of the crowd, and you have my adoring public. You know what I'm saying? When I first walk out, when my Big Joe first touched the match, you know what I mean? And they lay eyes on your Uncle Hanach, the ghee, you know, the this, they can smell the imported cologne. They can't fucking believe that one.
Sex Panther. Like
imported.
No, can you? I mean, to be honest, let's all joke aside. Imagine you only seen your Uncle Hanach to the match your whole life, and then at one point you go, God, you look, it's him.
Yeah, it would be a special moment
to take in.
To be sure. So, Alan, I do know that while you are not necessarily actively fighting anymore, you still train a lot, and you and Dustin Poirier kick it a lot now. How's that?
Yeah, it's good. Dustin's like Dustin is in person a lot like you see him on TV and stuff. He's very like that, you know. I don't want to say he's playing a character, because he doesn't really play a character, but that's how he is. I would say Dustin, you know, he's somewhat reserved. Then you get him on the mats and he's very confident, and you see his personality come out, which I think a lot of people like that. I mean, I feel like I was the same way too. Like when I was training, my personality would come out because you're having fun, you're confident in your skill, you're around people, your peers that you respect, because you're like, we're all in this grind together. We're all trying to get to the same goal. And so like, you like that. Maybe when Dustin goes out places, he wasn't as vocal, or, you know, some guys that are like, you know, they go out there and like a Renato when he walks in the room. We're not all like that. But anyway, what I'm getting at, he's a solid dude, a good dude, a real solid training partner. And my coach Julio at Saxon Muay Thai, he, like, every time he sees a picture with me and Dustin, he always goes, damn, dude, every time I see this picture of you guys training, I always go, what if you guys would have been training partners for the last 10, 15 years? Like, and the same thing, it breaks my heart because we didn't know each other. Me, DC, Dustin Poirier, obviously all from Lafayette, but we were all like pretty drastically different in age. Like DC's maybe 3 years older than me, but went to a different school, and he went off to wrestle, you know, before I was still in high school. And then I'm probably 8 years older than Dustin. So we were never even in the same gyms at the same time, much less like training partners. The only time that I would come home, and how I knew Dustin, I'd come home for Christmas type of thing to visit my family, and I'd go train with him, but once a year. And so, for some reason we all came up together, and DC and Poirier and me were all in the same gym. God, I mean, it would have been, you know, eventually, I think
that would have been amazing.
It would have been amazing. I think eventually we would have had to all go to a big gym, but to have that in a small grassroots gym, Like they would have been unheard of to see these type of guys in a small gym like a Gladiators Academy that they came from.
Do you
But I'm sure
do a crab ball or anything like that every once in a while?
Yeah. We do some. Yeah, I've done some since I moved here.
Man,
I'm
you
sure-
guys need to film that shit.
We go crabbing, we catch the crab, we bring it back and boil it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you let me to, if I came out there at some point when you guys all three is there, you let me to invite me to like a crab ball or like one of them Zydeco? We play some.
Dude, I would love to have you. I mean,
That'd be
crawfish boil, like we have that. People have crawfish boils all the time, but crab boils aren't as frequently. But nobody goes
crawfish, whatever. Crowd daddy.
Yeah, crabs are like Maryland.
But crabs are like more fun.
Crabs, you're an expert on that one.
People actually go catch the crab and then boil them. Where nobody catches it. You know, they have a fisherman that catches the crawfish. But either way, the food's delicious when you eat those. But catching them is fun. If you guys ever come visit, we'll go fishing.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
No, I was just gonna to wrap that thought before though. I was just gonna say I'm sure Dustin is actually happy to have you in town now though, to have a UFC guy that he can be with, like even when he's quote unquote in the off season, to have somebody who can really go with him, you know, where then when he goes away to camp or whatever, he's like already primed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I almost feel bad because he got me when I was retired, right? Or like I'm back here when I'm retired. And I told him about a month ago, I was like, man, jiu-jitsu, other things, let's do more of this. I can't do the wrestling sessions as much anymore. I can't do the sparring sessions as much anymore. It's just, it beats my body up too much. And Dustin and like all the guys at Gladiators, they have a bunch of really good up and coming talent. And AJ Fletcher, he's in the UFC as well. He trains over here. He's a welterweight. But you know, these guys, what's that?
Is he from Lafayette?
He's from Lafayette. He's actually from Baton Rouge, but he moved to Lafayette and he's in the same gym. Gladiators Academy.
Yeah, that's bad.
I forgot what it was like when you're in the fight world, when you're in the fight zone and you're thinking about when am I going to fight again, you're always thinking I got to get better, I got to win every battle in the gym and this and that. And you know, it's some days are lighter than others, but you're still like grinding. Where I go there now, and it took me about a year into my retirement to realize Kenny Johnson gave me a lot of help on this. He goes, dude, you're older now and you're retired. He goes, you don't have to win every battle. You go a little bit competitive. You see something somebody's doing, you could tell them like, look, man, this always worked for me. Coach him now and then, jump in on every third round. You don't have to go every round, win every battle. And it took me a long time to realize like I have to turn that switch off of like, wait, I got to be the best guy in the gym and just be, well, I'm just going to be competitive, or I'm just here to learn, or I'm just here to get in shape today, or I can help somebody that's younger than me. It was a weird transition for me going to that role, but I'm kind of at that role now is what I'm saying. So when me and Dustin spar and it starts getting ramped up and he's trying to find my liver in every shot, I'm like, oh Lord, I can't take a liver shot in the 5th round today. Like I'm just here to get a workout. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough to keep up.
Oh, God, I can imagine. I can only imagine.
And that's one thing. Look, I don't know if Dustin's going to be throwing body shots against Michael Chandler, but man, that's kind of, you know, Justin Gaethje's kind of known for like the body shot thing. He gives people like $500 if you could drop him or $100. Poirier's a lot like that. He has really good body shots. He dropped me once with a body shot a couple months ago. He drops everybody. When I see somebody on the knee, when they take a knee at the gym, I go, okay, Dustin got him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he lands a body shot on Chandler or something, man. I mean, that's a tough fight because this Chandler's such a far away, explosive wrestler, like cover the distance. It's not really toe-to-toe boxing. But if he would have gone against like Nate Diaz or somebody, I could have seen some body shots in there.
You know, I seen Dustin use the body shots against the cage, like when he have someone in trouble, he like mix it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll start just kind of shoe shining them.
Yeah, shoe shine, exactly.
You know what I mean? Which I like that. I don't think he's gonna just in the middle of the fucking octagon gonna throw a fucking body shot. You know.
We're gonna have to get Dustin on the show at some point.
We can. He's maybe you can shepherd him into here. You know.
I'll try to get him.
Let him know it's a safe space.
No,
He's
he
a
no.
bit- what-
I mean, we did that one years ago. We did one on my old podcast. We did with
and Dustin did it.
Jouban and Dustin, and he
Oh,
did it
really?
in the fight campy, and he did us a solid. Yeah, because
nice.
they do that.
Oh, well, I worked with Dustin
Here
on
we
some
go.
stuff.
I'm surprised you don't call him Dusty. Like she oh
Like,
yeah,
for
you
sure.
mean Dusty. I'm sorry. We always his friends call him Dusty. But yeah. Oh God, and you call him like Paul Boy.
I'm just saying, I you know, I remember him coming in, I guess to like UFC tonight and stuff over at Fox or whatever. But like, I get along with everybody, Renato. Nobody, I mean, so you know,
Great.
yeah, I would love to have him on sometime. That'd be great.
If it's a drink podcast, you should get That's not a good setup, but you should get Jolie, his wife, because she's so much fun. They love to like have drinks and have people over and stuff.
Nice.
She'd be fun to have on
Yeah,
too.
when are he and Mike? When are they fighting in Madison Square Garden? Is that November?
Yeah.
He and Chandler.
When they gonna do
And
like
Chandler.
UFC Lafayette?
Lafayette, I don't know.
Is
New
that
Orleans.
UFC
I
New
wish you
Orleans
would've-
would be cool.
At least go back to New Orleans. The one time that they were supposed to go to New Orleans, this is probably like 8 years ago. But me, DC, Poirier were all on the card. I had that elbow surgery, I think it was, or I had some surgery. DC was when it was one of those John Jones things, or like John Jones got hurt, and DC had to go and fight for the title. Dustin was the only one that fought on that card. So yeah, since then they've never been back to New Orleans. So I'd love them to do that.
Yeah, and I've never been to that city. Like, it's one of the places I need to go.
No,
I've never been to New Orleans. No, I need to go.
I'm
I've never been.
They would think that you was a Creole princess.
Oh
They would
yeah,
think
you look.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
look
I'm
Creole.
sure it'd be great. I would love it. I've just never been.
They would call you a yellow bone. That's what they say in New Orleans.
Not a red
Yellow
bone?
Creole Caucasian bone.
High yellow.
Yellow bone.
Oh God! Well, you're
Oh,
talking.
my
Okay,
God.
so yeah. Speaking of Louisiana, so that is the that's not the it's not the Big Easy. That's a different movie. You're talking the one that you keep quoting. That's the one with Ellen Barkin and with
No, that's the Big Easy. But I'm not quoting anything. That's just
no. The whole that he's like, come on, Cher. It's
More
Ellen
Cher.
Barkin and
Yeah, that's the Big Easy.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's
That's the name of the
Big Easy.
movie?
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, the Big Easy. That's right. That's the what's his name?
I
What's
don't
his
even know
name?
if I know that movie.
Dennis Quaid have the worst.
Dennis
fucking-
Quaid. Exactly. He's
there's
great in
bad-
it.
there's some
And the,
bad
yeah, and the
things
Zydeco
actually-
music at the cookout and everything. Oh, it's so good. The Big Easy's
Parts
great.
are bad.
But the
I-
whole time
I-
he's in it, he's like, come on, Cher. Like,
I saw today that New Orleans took the murder capital of America today. So yeah, they need
the
to-
They
Saints are
added
dying
some
though,
things.
aren't they?
added-
Ooh,
When they
sorry.
took it from Stockton,
it was like I think it was like St. Louis
East
and
St.
LA,
Louis. You know who usually fighting for that one is
Who?
East St. Louis.
Chicago.
No, for East St. Louis,
Philly?
Stockton, and fucking New Orleans have been like fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, and Detroit, I think, is usually kind of in the middle.
Still.
It's like it rotates every couple of years. But I saw today on Instagram that New Orleans is now the murder capital of the world again, overtaking
Ooh,
St.
man.
Louis and LA, which is like 8
LA.
times the population. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
Nice.
because LA has to have a ton of murders, but it's like 13 million people. What is LA, like 13 million people?
There have been
I
in
don't
the
know.
past couple of years. There've been some fucking.
It's so many
murders.
people, you can't even
There's
almost
not
calculate it.
13
still.
million people in LA. That's a
Is
lot.
there not that many?
I don't
Like
think so.
county?
I don't
It
know
could
how many
be.
people
Why
there.
not? There's a lot of people in LA.
Alexa, how many?
Alexa,
What's the
how many
population of
people
LA?
live in Los Angeles County?
According to the 2020
Hold on.
US Census, the population of Los Angeles County is 10 million people.
10 million people is the population of Los Angeles County. So you
That's
weren't far
not
off.
far off.
Okay, mine just said 3 million. That must be the city, and then
I
the
said Los
counties
Angeles
be-
County. So she
Okay,
said
very
10
good. So
million
that's
in Los
10
Angeles
million.
County.
So yeah, you look at cities like LA, Houston is a big city. A lot of
Yeah, it
people
is.
in Houston,
Right.
New York. But you would think those would be the definite, places with the highest numbers in anything, crime,
Well, when I was young,
whatever.
I mean, even New York used to be the murder capital, but that was
Right.
a lot.
It was
New
always
York
in there.
was back then. Well, yeah, New York had that like in what was it, the 80s?
It was
the
bad
big,
for a long
the
time,
big
yeah.
crime spree in New York.
That was like it was the most. They used to call it. I think they call it Murder City or Death City or something like that.
Something
Like
like that.
it was insane. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
just-
it was bad. It was
Where were
bad.
you at in New York?
Well, I mean, this came later after when I was Hilo Cage. But
Favela, yeah.
in Manhattan. You know, you had, you know, it was just a different.
Yeah.
I lived in Manhattan as well.
In the 70s?
No.
Okay. So it's a little different, boy. Huh?
Like
Yeah.
what's that area called? Is it Hell's Kitchen? Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen?
Yeah, that was bad
Yeah.
back then. Now it's not.
That was a
Which
bad
they tried
area
to change
back
into
then.
Clinton Hill.
Listen,
They
Well,
tried
now
to
it's
change-
like
pretty much
it's
all
like
the
a
areas,
trendy spot now, right?
all
Yeah,
the areas,
Clinton Hill.
even shit in like Spanish Harlem that used to be super fucking dangerous. That shit is nothing now. You know, like I hear about people.
Everything's safe.
There. I hitch kids be like, "Oh, I'm moving to 137th Street."
Right.
And I'm like, "What?" And then I go, "Oh God, I guess it's different."
Yeah, it
Well,
all
the-
got gentrified. The whole,
A
the whole.
lot of
it's
the other
all-
boroughs became, well, I can't speak for all of them, but like a lot of times when I've been back to New York in the last couple of years, a lot of like hip, cool stuff happens in Brooklyn. Like you go to Brooklyn
Oh,
and
of
there's all
course.
these studios and hotels. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot of the Manhattan population has kind of transferred over to Brooklyn.
Listen,
It's a new kind of hip, young.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you have to go to somewhere like the Bronx to really see some shit, you know, like,
Yeah.
Right.
or I think also there's an area in Brooklyn that's I can't imagine could be gentrified yet, and it's called East New York. I can almost guarantee you that East New York, there's no way that it's gentrified. There's no fucking way.
That it's what?
Gentrified, where it got made nice.
Okay.
White people is moving, and people who Cajuns that look half Chinese, half white.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gentrified. Is that what you
I said gentrify.
So Alan,
Gentrified.
Like the way they do it
Gentrified.
in Tiptoe and Lafayette.
We should let people know
in
too.
Fight court, I'll tell you what, that court, we was on that
What?
court.
You
Hey, we was
have
on that court.
done some
I didn't say that.
acting. If people see, is it on HBO? The one where you play about with the
What?
guy in the Holocaust?
Taxi cab
So-
confession.
Yeah.
Heel
But if you
sack.
could let people know, no, because you've been in a couple of like movies and some like some different stuff. Like,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You doing movies? Where's my percentage? I used to teach you how to do stuff.
He did. I will give him his credit. Renato has given me jiu-jitsu lessons, and he's actually given me acting lessons as well. So I will give credit where credit is due.
You know what's better than credit? Money.
I didn't make much money from acting. I didn't become
I
a good
made it-
actor. I got good at fighting, not so much acting.
Fair
It was
enough.
it was a good path. But yeah,
So what was
the
you on?
one
Oh,
that
it's-
KB's referring to, it was called Harry Haft, but then right before it was released, they changed the name to The Survivor. And it's a Holocaust movie, so it's a very deep movie, but it's a well done. I mean, it's a beautifully done movie.
What, like a nuclear holocaust, like Mad Max?
no, the Holocaust.
Holocaust. So
So you played one of you was a Sephardic Jew.
I played a professional boxer in the 40s, 50s era. Who there was a guy named Harry. I'll just give you a 30-second summary. A guy named Harry Haft, who was a prisoner. They made prisoners fight, and the loser would be put to death. And so this guy he was a small guy, but he was super tough, natural ability, and he went like 70-0, 77-0. They would bring in fighters from France, professional boxers. He would beat them. He had to fight his friends, and they would kill him. And he ended up escaping, coming to America, and they made it kind of a love story. And so he becomes a professional fighter because he knows nothing else to find his love. That's where I come in. He fights a professional boxer who I pay. Roland Lastarza was a professional boxer from the Bronx, New York, in the 1950s, and he looks so similar to me. It's crazy.
Shit.
6 feet tall, 190 pounds, had a mole, dark hair, dark skin. He was even considered like more in shape for that time. Like at that time, guys didn't really have like cuts and muscles.
Yeah.
And he was considered more of a cut fighter.
They had like that Hobart Mitchum where he's sucking the fucking
sucking the gut, the profile. Exactly. And that back then was considered like a strong man.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
Italian?
my boxing coach was the boxing authority on the movie. And when he saw Roland Lastarza, his mom knew Roland Lastarza growing up because my boxing coach is from New York.
Oh.
And he goes, I have exactly the guy. That's how I got the role. So it was
that's
cool to play.
That's so great.
Hey, good
cool to
for
play
you.
somebody that really lived. And at the end of the movie, the guy Harry Half, what's that?
I gotta see this. I have the HBO whatever. Can I?
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max. It's called
I-
The Survivor, and like I said,
I have
it's a
that one.
long Holocaust type movie. So I just prepare people for that because like, oh, I want to see your movie, and then they go,
Well, you
wow,
know,
pretty heavy.
that was deep. That was deep.
Listen,
What's
I
that?
like the Holocaust as much as the next guy.
I like it as much. But I mean, there's some scenes at the end, and God, I wish I remembered everybody's name. I feel very bad, but I mean, just because I was in a movie, I'm not saying it was beautifully well done, but
Oh,
there was some
what a hanging endorsement.
I mean, A-list. I'm trying to look. Okay, so Ben Foster played Harry Half.
Oh, maybe I do know what this shit is now.
Ben Foster played it, and it was directed by Barry Levinstein, who's the award-winning
Barry Levin's son.
Levinson. Sorry, Barry Levinson.
How
I know he's so good.
He's got to be
Right,
Barry Levinstein, as if Barry Levinson isn't Jewish.
Barry
enough.
Levinson, who
I
did
know,
Men in Black and
I
all
mean,
that
more
stuff. I've
Jewish.
actually interviewed him.
Oh God!
Yeah. Oh, really?
Of course you have.
I have.
So Barry Levinson did like Good Morning Vietnam and
Yes,
and
he's
other
amazing.
award-winning
You
films.
mean Barry Levin Greenbergstein?
Levinstein. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was some great talent involved in it. So
Let me
it's
guess.
supposed to
Woody
do.
Allen. Fucking.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, listen.
Larry.
What up, Max Payne Griff? I sent you
Oh,
a link.
shit.
How are you?
If you want to jump in, later, I sent you a link. So
Listen,
Maxie
check
baby,
your
what's up, brother?
check your IG.
Man, last I saw Max, he fought in I feel like it was that court in was it Cleveland, Ohio, or something. And
I'm not sure.
I think he just barely didn't go his way off of a decision, but he looked like a gangster.
Of course, you gotta bring that up. Of course.
Well, that's the last time I saw him, but I saw him in a hotel, and that's why I bring it up because we talked for a minute.
Could bring up one of his wins or something like that, maybe. Yeah. Hey, listen.
But I was gonna say, I love watching Max because he's a gangster in there, and the way that I met Max, we were both fighting, and we weren't in the UFC, and then I got to the UFC, and I needed an opponent for a fight. He kept calling me out. He was just drilling me on Twitter, and then I responded back, and I was like, dude, I said something. He was like, all I know is if I get in there with you, I'm gonna win. I was like, no, you wouldn't win. And we were like adamant. And they're like, no, bro, you won't beat me. And I was like, yes, I will beat you. No, you won't. Just went back and forth, but it grew my respect for him. And then he got into the UFC and started killing it. And I've been a fan ever since
then.
And
were you glad that you never took him up on that one? You was like, God damn, he was gonna fuck me.
He was good. Yeah, he was gonna tear me up. Yeah, he was good.
I wasn't on that court. I wasn't.
Hey, so Alan, when's the next time we're working together? What's your next show?
I have 2 shows in October.
Are you on the 1st? Or I'm on the 1st and the 29th.
I think I'm on the 29th, and there's one like the 13th, 14th around there.
Oh yeah, I'm not on that one.
So I don't know anything about him yet. But I just know I have
the
2.
The 29th is that Calvin Kattar fight. Oh.
Who's Calvin Kattar fighting?
He's fighting Arnold Allen. That fight's gonna be sick.
Oh, that's a really good fight.
I saw that.
I know it's gonna be sick.
That's a tough fight for both guys.
We might have to get Calvin Kattar back on. Calvin Kattar might have to be our first repeat guest because technically Angie was because she popped in one time with Uriah Hall on that same show.
True,
so technically I think Angie was our first repeat. So he could be our first repeat guy, but I think we might have to see if Calvin Kattar can come back because I would freaking wicked love that kid.
Because Arnold Allen is a Laranjino from way back. Before I even he was followed that one.
Is he really?
Renato, give me your pick. Calvin Kattar, Arnold Allen. Who's gonna win?
To be honest, it's fucking. I mean, I say, to me, it's almost it's a flip. It's a coin flip. Because once I started to almost put out of my mouth Calvin Kattar would be the smart money, then I started to think about Arnold Allen, and then I said, God,
he's a dog.
Yeah.
You know?
But I love Calvin Kattar. Like I can't root against Calvin Kattar. Like I'm a sucker.
It's such a toss up. But I would say this, like this is probably, I guess, going to be the biggest name that Arnold Allen's had so far. But he looks so good.
Who was the last person? Arnold Allen.
I think he had like a flawless performance at UFC London, two UFC Londons ago, and I I don't remember who he fought, but
didn't he beat up somebody heel fucking good too? Like, oh, you know who it was? Dan Hooker.
Oh,
He
was
like
it Hooker that he?
Hooker.
Was it Hooker? But no, didn't Hooker go? Maybe you're right, man.
Dan Hooker.
Yeah,
Renato's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Look at you, Renato. I didn't.
Well, listen, you know, I've been doing this.
Yeah,
for,
it was. It was.
I have been doing this for.
It was. By the way,
why he said, "Oh, it's very hard."
Oh, what was the question? What was the question for them?
It's very hard.
I don't know, but I just wanted to put that up because I think it's funny.
It's very hard.
I'm sorry. That was like fourth grade humor for me right there. I'm sorry, but that just made me laugh.
Oh God, you the horde. You like a hard man is good to find, huh? Karyn Bryant.
Look it. I know, Alan, it's late where you are. We can let you go, but
let who go? He ain't going nowhere.
Okay, or he can stay. I don't want it to take up all his time, Renato.
What he's gonna do? Go back to see the family? He see them every fucking day. And Caralho. And KG. Oh, how's KG doing, by the way?
I told him. I said he saw me like kind of prepping the room. He's like, "What?" No, I was making a drink. He goes, "What do you do?" He gets mad at me when I make a drink. What are you doing at night? I got to do a podcast and doing a little drinking. I go, it's with KB and Renato, you know, Renato. And he was like, I was like, well, from the wedding. Remember he fell into the fountain and he caught you, and he was thinking hard, man. Like I know he had a picture in his head, but like I don't know if he connected the dots.
He know when he see you, Uncle Hanash, because he's always I'm like you remember you used to watch Different Stroke? For him,
I didn't.
Well, oh God, argue. For him, I'm like the Gooch. I'm like the boogeyman for him, you know, because I'm unbeatable. Because I threw him in a fountain at a wedding one time.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Okay.
Because
so listen,
kids. I will fight a little kids. I'm not scared of that one.
So listen.
Barbecue.
Well, we have you here then. We may as well get into this then. Since I didn't work with you this weekend, but I did work. What was your take on this fight with Cory Sandhagen and Song Yadong? You know, Cheaty picked correctly again last week, folks. Cheaty picked Cory Sandhagen, but Song Yadong is a dog in this fight and kept going. He waved off the doctor. You know that doctor was trying to stop it earlier, and Song's like, "No, I'm good." But Cory Sandhagen is very, very, very good. He was number 4 going into this fight and really, you know, just kind of, I think, affirmed his position. Man,
Sandhagen, he's one of the smoothest fighters in the UFC to me. His style, where he moves back and forth, he never looks off balance. He never looks like he's out of position to throw a strike, right? Whichever, as I stated, he gets hit in the face.
Well, he was early. He was getting checked before he figured out where he needs to be at.
Yeah, he did some adjusting, right? But I like him, man. I like his style. Song Yadong, he's a dog, as you said. But and it's unfortunate that it stopped because of a cut. But I feel like Sandhagen needed this win very badly. He earned the win. He wasn't that banged up from it. What's that?
I agree.
And but I want to see. He sells himself, like when you interview Sandhagen. He could do broadcast. He analyzes everything and he analyzes himself. And when he talks about it, he goes, look, these are the people I've lost to. It's Aljamain Sterling. It's TJ Dillashaw. Everybody that I've lost to in my career, maybe 3 losses, whatever it was, they're champions or former champions. And some of the fights people say I might have won.
Yeah, people thought he beat TJ. So
TJ, and so that one too. I had him win that one.
I actually gave it to TJ, but regardless of it, it was a very close fight. And so he's that guy that's right there, man. And he's like, I love that he analyzes his game all the time. And he's like, all right, like, what can I do to get the most out of myself, to show that like my maximum potential in every fight? How can I adjust in these losses? And so he needed that. He got the victory. Happy for him, man. He's got only fun matchups in the future.
I'm always looking at how I can get the most out of the other person, Karalho.
Out of the what?
Out of the other person. Instead of myself, I'm like, how can I get the most out of the other
Yes,
person?
you are like
Oh.
that. Renato, what did you make of that fight, though?
I enjoyed that one because it's tough, because I like both of those guys a lot for different reasons. I know why you like Song, because of the Dong connection there.
I know him because first time I interviewed him was literally like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I've
great.
known that kid since he was a kid. He's only 24 now. Literally, the first time I interviewed him
that's
was
too
years and
young.
years
Yeah,
ago.
that's
People
too
could
young.
find it on my YouTube channel.
Right. That's all. I'm not gonna get into you being interested in him and the Dong and all that stuff since he was a kid. I don't want to talk about that.
Don't turn it into something.
Listen. Anyway, so Song, Song. What a beautiful name, too. Song. It's just like a song. In his language, probably means something different. It's probably, I thought that sounded like a Korean name. To me, his name sounds Korean, but anyway, that's either here and also there. But the thing about Dong is that I love the way he fight. I love his spirit. I love the power. I love all that, the attitude, all that shit. But about Sandhagen, I feel like it's more Sandhagen's chimey, and I know that Song will be there. He's young.
He's only 24.
He's gonna have his chime. So even though it sucks to hoot against someone you like, I felt like I was hooting for Sandhagen because I feel like it's his chimey. Song gonna be there.
Agreed.
I agree.
I
I agree.
felt
Well
bad.
said.
Look, I don't want to see anybody's face get all blown up like that. Even though, for some reason, how you feel about this, Alan Jouban? For some reason, I get squeamish, and it's counterintuitive because I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I hate seeing people's bones get broken and their legs going the wrong way and stuff. But for some reason, if I see the biggest gash or whatever and blood gushing everywhere, it just don't bother me even a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But for
The
some
same.
Yeah, why? But some people, they oh my God. And they don't mind the breaks. But for me, just even an arm break make me sick. But the blood and the cuts, I don't mind. I don't know why.
I could look at Rodriguez Robocop's cut, and I will zoom in on my phone and look at every little vein in the forehead. And it's like, okay, cool. This is the anatomy of the forehead. Like I'm dissecting it. Nothing. But if I'm on Instagram and I see a power lifter with 6 plates and something bad's about to happen, man, I'm getting out of there right away. I don't want to see a knee blown out.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah.
Something about the human body doing something that is not supposed to. You know what I mean? Something about that. It shiver me timber to the fucking core. Like, for instance,
100%.
my least favorite thing is to watch someone check a fucking kick and the guy's fucking leg turn into a harbor.
No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I never want to
or
see
you know what makes me nervous? You ever see somebody sitting down on a leg press? And I always get worried that their knees are gonna buckle the wrong way. The leg press comes down and but anything about the knee. I mean, I don't like injuries. I'm the same as you. I'll take blood any day over an injury.
Buckets of blood.
The legs or the knees more so than the arm. Like a bad arm bar, I can watch that. But a bad leg break is worse. Is worse to me.
Especially when it turned into harbor. There's something about it that's so sad when you see like the person is reduced to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
All right. Well, speaking of which, what did you make then of Njokuani versus?
Oh yeah,
that's
what I thought we were gonna get into from the beginning.
This bummed me out because he went from being an enemy because of Jouban, because the one time, Karyn Bryant, I cornered Jouban years ago.
Against GD?
One fucking time I was the corner. And it was his first fucking professional loss on Forge. But it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
And he was our enemy, but later in life he became a friend,
Right.
And now, since of all that history, now I know Jouban feel the same way. We're hooting for this guy because he's put his dues. You know what I'm saying? Like he's paid his fucking dues. So when he lost, when he was winning and then he lost, I felt terrible about that, even though I like Hoboka.
Yeah, no, I obviously Renato said it. Chitty was my second pro fight, so we go way back. Renato was in my corner. Tachi Palace, 2000 and forever.
I
But
can't believe he was in your corner.
I know, and like I can't remember if
That's
I can't
crazy.
get into it, but I
It
can't remember who.
It never came to that because it never came to the jiu-jitsu because it never really went to the ground. I think maybe you fought off some checkdown or he fought off some, but it never went.
I had him in an armbar in the second round and the bell rang, but that was it. Back to this fight. RoboCop though, Rodriguez, he the last year that I was at Black House, he was at Black House, so I got to know him very well, and he's really good, really powerful, really big guy. And then I as I was commentating for LFA, he was in the LFA, and I remember he went through a slump where he was supposed to fight for the LFA belt, but then they gave him a chance on the Contender, Dana White Contender Series. So, but it was like 4 months away. So he had to give up a title fight or something. It was something where he had to go a long way to stay of time in order to jump on this opportunity for the Contender. He took it. Right. He got knocked out in like 30 seconds, and he was so depressed. And I remember messaging him, and I remember just telling him the only relatable story that I had where I was in the LFA or with RFA at the time. It was my title shot, and I lost to a guy named Mike Biggie Rhodes. Mike Biggie Rhodes went to the UFC.
I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't win the belt. I didn't go to the UFC. I was down and out. Eventually, I got back on track and won some fights, got to the UFC. I told him the same thing. I said, look, I know exactly what you're feeling right now, man. I've been there. I promise you, you keep doing you, you're going to be there. Sure enough, man, he gets back in there, wins a couple more fights. He's in the UFC. Now he's killing it. He's been getting bonuses back to back. Everybody in the UFC knows his name now from this crazy fight in that cut, but he's a staple in the UFC now. And a year and a half ago, he was like, I don't know where I'm going to be in life. So I was rooting for both guys, I guess you could say, but
that's kind of nice too. See, I didn't have that connection, but I tell you what, people like also the thing about HoboCop, and it was funny because it's like, that's the life you came with me. Again, like he kind of fuck up the saying.
Yeah.
Like that's live you came with me, you know. I would like to see him do a remake. In fact, I need to do a remake with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can play like, what was the guy from Beverly Hills Cop? Honey.
Eddie Murphy.
The guy with the gray hair. That's like the bad guy in fucking HoboCop.
RoboCop was the white dude, but yeah, I don't
remember
who it was.
Also, the dad from that '70s show, he was a bad guy in there.
I used to love RoboCop though. Yeah, RoboCop.
Oh, me too. Are you serious? When I saw that movie with my dad when it first came out, I couldn't believe it. Now when you look at it, you think,
he just blows everybody away walking.
But it's so fucking funny too. It's like almost like a comedy on purpose. There's a lot of satire in that movie. But afterward, me and my dad, and this only happened a couple of times. We saw the fucking movie. We was having a blast. My dad is one of those fucking. He's one of those black guy who talk at the fucking movies. You know what I mean? Who wear like. He's one of those guys where white people turn around and they go, shh, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or he was like, "Oh, go ahead, HoboCop." Right. Anyway, like for instance, when we saw Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, whatever, when fucking Vader come out and he go, "Oh, dig him! Look at the cape." Anyway, but that's either here and there. When we saw HoboCop, we liked it so much. We was having so much fun. Though he was like, "You want to just watch that shit again?" And then we just
stayed and watched it again.
Watched the whole fucking movie again.
I love it. That's great.
That's one of those. Anyway, fuck it.
That's great.
But now,
RoboCop. Listen, I just thought in this fight, I was like happy for him. I thought he was more aggressive than like he had been. I thought.
I'm gonna tell Cheaty that you said this, and
I don't know.
Because Cheaty also is your guys' name. You fucking alligator after
my daughter's our show mascot is named Cheaty. It's my daughter's bearded dragon who picks fights. And by the way, folks, Cheaty was right again last week. He's literally on like a 7-win streak or something. He picked Cory Sandhagen last week, so
How
There
much
was
you
no
put
fights
that
this weekend for him to pick. So next week, though, he will pick. He'll pick what we have Mackenzie versus Yan Xiaonan. So he'll pick that one.
Alan, don't you love to watch Mackenzie's progression in the UFC after we've seen her so much in the grappling world over the years? Like, you know, I wasn't sure if she was going to be any good because
She's doing great. Jason Perillo's turned her into a beast.
It's hit or miss with these jiu-jitsu phenom come in. She looked fucking good every time she's looked. So I mean, I'm excited to see the future for that one.
Yeah, me too.
Man, I feel like, because I work at LFA, right? And so there's like the fear to the UFC. And
still you do?
Still, yeah.
He
I
just
still
did
work
this
for the LFA.
weekend.
Oh, God,
yeah, exactly. And that's why it comes on my mind, because two of the girls the main event was the girl fight. And her name was Jacqueline Amarim, and she's like a McKenzie. She's like a McKenzie. She's a good-looking girl, but I say that just because that's what you think of when you think of McKenzie. But high level jiu-jitsu, undefeated, 6-0, 6 first-round finishes. She's a strawweight champion. There's another one that trained. What's that?
Where she live at?
She's in Florida. She trains at ATT, but she's got Conan. You wanted to know what camp or if she's around?
No, he wants to know where she lives. Like he's literally.
She look good, you know.
About to go give her a private.
I posted something. I posted something on my story. I did like an interview with her and Gigi. Gigi was the other one on the card. But two girls, they're like 8-10 years apart. They're both black belts, and they both came up from the same gym in the same small town in Brazil. They're both undefeated. They're both coming up through the LFA system. The LFA system. I just posted this like before I got on there with you guys. On here with you guys. They're both two girls that we will definitely. I guarantee you, we see Jacqueline. Her next fight will probably be in the UFC, and then Gigi. She probably has 2 more wins. But what I'm getting at is,
get on Contender.
Maybe you should.
She could do that, but she's only like 19.
Oh,
but I feel like this.
Well, tonight there was a 17-year-old kid fighting though.
That's
right tonight. But I guess the point I was trying to make though was, I feel like jiu-jitsu. Don't get mad at me, Renato. Jiu-jitsu being the strong martial art in MMA, kind of, it faded down a lot over the years. You're not going to see guys getting triangled. You're not going to see guys getting Kimura. You don't see as many submissions again because everybody knows the game. So everybody knows the
wrestling's
defense.
More important than jiu-jitsu, it seems now.
What the
yes,
fuck?
Because but what you see now is
striking and wrestling are the most important.
But Renato, what I'm saying is everybody's so educated that you're not sneaking a submission. You have to just be better or be a step ahead of them. So you're not seeing as many submissions. But what you are seeing is the women are still able to dominate in jiu-jitsu more so than the men. I find I don't like what was his name, the welterweight that Tyrone with the most rear naked chokes,
Damian
Maia. Thank you. Damian Maia was one of the, like a guy like that would always get the submission, and you see Charles Oliveira, the champion. But you don't see a lot of these like jiu-jitsu champions coming up and dominating like you see the Mackenzie Derns or the Jacqueline Marines that I'm talking about. The girls seem to still be coming through the system, these high-level belts, and making waves a lot faster and doing a lot more.
Thug Nasty's getting a bunch of subs.
Thug Nasty is, yeah. But I mean, you don't he's good at submissions, but you don't know him as like a high-level. Like he wasn't on the jiu-jitsu scene winning all the championships.
Right. He just happens to be great at it though.
Right. But I feel like you see more girls win everything that you can in jiu-jitsu and then make their way into MMA and make big waves right away.
There are a couple more girls. There's a couple of flyweights, I think, like that too, that were
Alan,
somebody else that was like a jiu-jitsu girl. Yeah.
One of the major differences that these girls is fighting girls. It's a little bit different.
Meaning that you can't say that in 2022.
Well, I just started. I mean, if they was fighting, listen, guys gotta fight other guys. If I had to fight guys, my submission game.
I know, but what is it? The girls supposed to fight the guy?
Not true. Fair enough. Yo, wipe that that smirk off of your face.
All right, I'm gonna move along, guys, because this one I thought was a little crazy, and afterwards, I actually ran into the winner at the hotel afterwards and congratulated him, and we were like, I can't believe it went to split decision, but Andre Touchy-Feely over Bill Algeo.
Yeah, that was.
You know, so obviously that means some judge thought that going like this was a real threat to Andre. So that's a little crazy.
I wish I could say I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
These fucking judges don't know what they're doing, and I'm sick of it. You know?
Yeah. You guys can roll with this one. I didn't get to see this fight. So
I seen Alan Jouban at the victim of shit like this early in his career, where even maybe he won a decision, but one judge would give him like none of the hound or whatever. And I remember I was talking about that. And I'm like, you're fucking with people's life here. You know, like what the fuck are they doing? I mean, I'm not gonna go on another chai hate, but it's criminal at this point.
And that's what Andre was saying afterwards too, because I mean, he was winning the whole time. He was threatening, you know, and he wasn't able to finish the submission, but the majority of the round was spent with him, you know, with his arm under his neck and like just about to finish it. And Bill was being crafty and fought him, you know, defended enough, obviously, but the threat was being mounted by Andre, not by Bill, you know. And so the fact that it went to a split decision. And so I saw him after and he's like, yeah, I can't believe it. And, you know, it's like thinking, what are they saying? You know, what are they thinking? And he said in his, you know, presser speech afterwards, what the actual F are you looking at? Like, who the F are you thinking that? How are you judging when you think that he won that round? Like, what are you actually talking about?
And I love that.
The problem is you're gonna have every once in a while, and I think the only reason he really didn't even mind just speaking out like that is because he went through a tragedy and stuff. So he's like, fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think people try to, you know, be a company man and not, you know, speak out against all that shit or whatever. But, you know, it's like, how many times do we have to see this? How many years do we have to see this? I mean, Alan Jouban went through a whole career. Like, he's never going to get a chance to have some of those stupid decisions come back.
I know.
Whose whole career and whole finance have been fucked up by this whole shit.
I know. It really messes with people's livelihoods.
I know we're going to see consequence because you can't tell me. I understand if two guys, one guy got it, you know, 29-28, the other guy got it 28-29. I can stomach that. But when you got fucking one guy who got 30-27 and the rest of the it don't make any fucking something. There have to be some kind of penalty because in a way these guys is penalizing these fighters, but they never in danger of being penalized themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So how can that be fair? That don't seem democratic in a country that's democratic.
Well, it needs to be the obvious, you know, whoever's overseeing it, and say, I need to bring this judge in and say, okay, show me what you were looking at and show me the reasons why you scored it this way. Right. And I saw there was a crazy call a couple months ago that DC just went off on the judge and the referee. The judge, sorry. And the judge did a whole YouTube video on explaining why he did that. And agree or disagree, I agree. I at least appreciated that this referee
he had
he goes, I'm gonna explain, and he showed the fight and he was freezing. He goes, see this position right here? I'm giving him credit for ABC. And so I appreciated that. This was an old fight rather.
Okay.
But I didn't see this fight that we're talking about with Feely, but I saw the press conference after, and I love what he said. He goes, look, we know what we're talking about these days when we're talking about scoring, right? We're looking for substantial damage over quantity, and we're talking about fight-ending sequences. Who's the closest in the fight? He goes, when I have my arms under your throat and I'm about to take your head off and put you to sleep, is that close to the end of the fight? Then a little pot shots from the back of the head. He goes 100%. So what are you looking, how he's scoring?
Yeah.
Feely was looking at it not from the emotional fighter, but from a judging point of view. So I thought that was very mature of him to have that response right there. But to your what you were saying, Renato, it brings out these emotions in you when you get robbed, or you feel that you were robbed, like you mentioned in 2 of my fights, and in this fight or almost robbed for Feely. Yeah, because it's like someone made a bad decision, and it takes away possibly $50,000-$100,000 money from your pocket,
Yeah.
and leverage and renewing it. So
Half
it's
fucking
it's
contract,
personal. It's very personal.
half you pay. I mean,
And every
that's
time
not-
you look, not like you're looking at your record often, but anytime somebody asks me about a certain fight and it's one that I got robbed, it's hard to just give a short answer. Yeah, it didn't go my way. I can't. I gotta say, oh, but and I get all pissed. I get all like bitter, and I hate being like that.
Every fighter has been robbed before. Every fucking fighter, and it shouldn't be that way. You should have to. There should have to be some penalty. And also, like, imagine if you had like I don't know, one of these fucking shows. I don't watch these shows, but like The Voice. What if those guys wasn't singers or whatever, and you know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah, the judges.
There's a reason why you have people who's like actually doing the thing that these people judging. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't have people who've never did. There's sometimes people who've never did the discipline that they're looking at.
Yeah.
How can you have this? It just don't make any sense to me.
What they do is they're reading the rule books, and they're judging based on the criteria based in the rule book. But if they had not been involved with mixed martial arts or done some degree of jiu-jitsu or fought before, it's hard for them to understand some of the momentum changes that happen.
Yeah. Imagine a person who's never took a jiu-jitsu class understanding any of the intricacy of jiu-jitsu when no one looks like they're really doing much, you know? Like,
well, more so them having the power to say you win or lose, not, you know what I mean? Because they're the deciding factor. They shouldn't be the deciding factor.
Not at all. I mean, for fuck's sake, boy.
Okay.
Look, we're speaking to the choir. You're preaching to.
I know. I want to get your take on Joe Pyfer, because everybody's high on this guy. And
I want to see this. I didn't get to see any of these fights.
Well, he came and smashed the guy, and Joe won on Dana's Contender Series, and he's a person who he tried twice, and took him 2 times. He already has undergone like this massive surgery that took him out for a long time. He's comes from a really just crappy, sad, very sad backstory, and is really basically saving his life with MMA. So
I'm sorry, I'm just watching. This is the first time I get to watch this. My son had a soccer game, so I saw that he won.
So he's a big ass middleweight, and I was working with Dean Thomas and Mike Chiesa, and Dean was saying that he was at the Apex or whatever with Pyfer while he was hitting pads. He's like, oh goddamn, and he's kind of like this big gorilla type, and I mean that as a compliment of like a big strong dude. He's from Philly, so he's training with Sean Brady and Sabatini, those guys, like that Philly crew. That's pretty tough. So he's got a good dudes on the way up with him, and I think people might complain like, oh, he's getting special treatment or whatever because Dana's giving him extra money here and there, and whatever, because Joe comes from like a bad situation, but he seems like a good dude trying to really make the best of his life and trying to turn a crappy upbringing into a positive adulthood. So I wish him the best.
Yeah, and he keeps finishing fights good. Like I wish I could have. Well, how did that fight end? He knocked him out in the first round?
Yeah.
Why did they miss that on the fucking highlights there? I didn't even.
They never show you the finishes.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish.
You know what that's like when you're watching.
But yeah, it was he smashed him. He smashed him.
They're greedy with the finishes on Pornhub and X videos. Sure. No, it's true. You're watching that one, like, okay, yeah, and then what happened? And then it was like this hype when she's like, yeah, I want you to blah 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 and the XYZ, and then he's like, oh yeah, here you go, and then it goes fades out. It goes, oh, buzzers, or it goes blacks and white women. Oh god, and then it make you want to pay for the heel.
You don't have that. You don't have the how many bucks it takes a month to. Support your hobby.
Oh, I had to watch that one for free. Caralho.
I would
You laid 'em
imagine
up
there'd
right
be
there.
enough free available, wouldn't there be?
Well, I'm a free bird, you know. I like
That's
the
what I'm
free.
saying. I would imagine there's enough free
Free porn.
visuals.
Yeah, but every once in a while, I'm at home by myself.
I know I'm saying there's free visuals on the internet, aren't there?
No, there
You don't
is.
have to pay for it, do you? Like, aren't there sites where you could go and see it for free?
Karyn Bryant, obviously you don't want to watch a lot of pornography, but here's the problem. They started to realize that why give away the milk for free when you can have the cow or whatever's the fucking expression. At the end, right when you're about to get the money shots, as they say, a lot of them now will like fade or cut out just as that's about to happen. And they know that if you're there and you're doing whatever you're doing, you know, me, I just have a popcorn. I don't even do that. People jerk off, I guess, when they watch pornography. Myself, I have a butter popcorn, a soda pop, or whatever, and I'm just watching. I'm like, caralho. Oh, she's about to.
Well, the storyline. You're in it for the plot.
Some of the and the passion and the excitement.
The drama of the pizza delivery. Yeah.
Back and forth. But and he can
School after school tutoring.
that
Kind of stuff, right?
disconcerting. I like to see like maybe you see family drama play out. Like one guy's a stepdad, and then the mom is somewhere at work or whatever, and
they both like the same girl.
Yeah, some stuff like that. And I want to see how this fucking thing play out.
I'm sure.
And then when he's about to show you how it's play out, and he's about to give her give her that one. Then they cut out of that one, and then I go, caralho, now I gotta go to black.
Maybe you just should watch other stuff. Maybe.
And whitewomen.com to finish to see how this one ends. Who wants to do that?
I bet your DMs don't girls slide into your DMs all the time.
Yeah, but I can't listen. Like for instance, tonight I don't got nothing cooking after this.
Sorry.
Yeah, true. But sometimes maybe I'm tired after this shit, and then maybe I want to just sit back, relax, and crack open the old computer, and then maybe watch some of that stuff.
Celebrate our 1-year anniversary with some good old American porn.
Yeah, why not? And every once in a while, Czechoslovakia.
Okay, well,
that was good. I was hoping it was gonna go there. I was hoping.
Yeah, I
feel like you laid him up, and I was kind of waiting for
I didn't expect
to dunk it.
Yeah, wow. All right then.
It's the 1-year anniversary. We gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah, the 1-year anniversary. Well, Alan, like I said, I don't want to keep you. I know it's late where you are, so anytime you need to bounce, just bounce. Like
You can tell when someone bounce because they start going like this. Well, hey guys, I love you guys, and he's gonna tell you when he want to get the fuck out.
The dog is gonna have to go out soon, or the kid is gonna have to go to bed soon.
Look, the kid better already be. What time is it over there?
He should be in bed.
It's 10:45, 10:40, which is late for me. But
that's what I was gonna say. I know you're not a late night guy.
I'm an early bird, but thankfully,
oh God,
my son doesn't have school tomorrow for some weird reason. So yeah, it worked out good.
Like a professional development day type thing.
Like that. I used to tell my parents that stuff all the time. He's lying.
Yeah, I know. He told me that, and I was like, "Why would they not have school on Wednesday?" But
he's lying.
I used to make up shit like that. You know what was the?
It worked out good. I told him we were gonna go to the movies tomorrow. I was hoping to go see what's the blue people?
Avatar.
Avatar. You know that doesn't come out until till December.
Yeah, I know. So why are you gonna take him tomorrow?
Because I've been seeing trailers for it. So I thought, oh my God, Avatar 2 is coming out. I was pumped up for it. Normally they start showing trailers, it's about to come out. Have they always done trailers 4 months in advance?
Did you take too many to the brainstemmy?
That's what I'm saying. Wait, like, bro.
If it come out December, you can't show him that one tomorrow.
I'm saying I've been seeing the trailer, so I thought maybe it was in theaters now or something.
No,
that movie would never open on a random mid-September. Like that movie's gonna always be an event weekend, like a holiday weekend or a big event.
I don't know how it works, but normally, I feel like you don't see trailers on. I don't know. Maybe people don't watch TV as much as they used to, or I don't at least, and you don't see trailers as frequently. So when I saw that though, I thought maybe it was out.
in your neighborhood, you see a lot of trailers for houses like that. You say, hey, oh shit.
Double wide.
Yeah. Now, what the fuck I was talking about?
This is so rude.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking
Nothing
of
wrong with that. There, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, Renato. You know that, right?
yes, there is. I mean, you're poor. You're poor, and listen.
It's just a fact of life for some people. That's where they live. It doesn't make them bad people.
There are a lot of trailers in Louisiana.
It means that they sucking on the cheek of the American government, and they're getting handouts like Alan Jouban.
Perhaps.
He was in the poorhouse, the poorhouse. Now listen. What the fuck I was saying? Oh, something about the Smurf or whatever. I guess with
the blue people. The blue people.
Oh, the Avatar. Him going to take. So what are you going to take Cage to see then if you can't take him to see Avatar?
What's in the movies right now? Because he's off of school, so I need to do something.
Oh, they're saying that they're showing Joe's house saying they're re-showing the original Avatar in theaters to hype up the sequel later. So you must have just bought him a ticket to go see the old school original one, which is still great and which is so worth seeing in a theater.
I bet you that
I appreciate that.
The graphics gonna look like N64 or whatever at this point. He's gonna be like, what the fuck is this,
He's like,
but
my thing looks better.
But do you remember when the original Avatar came out? People lost their shit on it, right?
Oh,
people
yeah, it was
like,
amazing.
There were people saying that they were
I
going
remember.
into depression because they wanted to live in the Avatar world, and it took the world by storm. So I wonder, to what you're saying, Karyn, like, yeah, they're probably going to release it on a big day and have a, like, look how good Top Gun the sequel did. You know what I mean? Like it smoked everything at the theaters. So I'm assuming it's going to do the same.
When you're going to know about it. They're going to have, because they spent like, I think it's the most expensive movie in history. So they got to do a big press on the fucking thing. You're going to see it on the UFC canvas. They're going to even have it at fucking HFA or whatever the fuck you're coming to.
And I know this is old news now, but you guys both saw the new Top Gun?
Oh, yeah.
I still hadn't saw that one yet.
You hadn't seen it?
Renato, you're not American.
Great,
well, you are an American. I was going to say that's not American, but you aren't American. So that tracks.
I thought it was good. It was real good.
I loved it.
I'm going to saw that one, but they didn't, they don't have a Brazilian pilot. Unless they start getting some Brazilian brothers on the, then
choppy gun.
Yeah,
it's even playing on on airplanes now if you fly or anything.
Yeah, the guy on my way back from France, the guy next to me was or across the aisle was watching it because I didn't have anybody next to me, but there was a guy across the aisle.
Well, you didn't have nobody. I like when I didn't have nobody.
But by the way, I remember seeing one of these shows, one of the highlights, and KB was talking about like a pickup line. And she was saying all these pickup lines, and Renato was like, "What are you talking about? Girls don't need pickup lines. All you got to do is say, let's just go to my house." And the guy's like, "Okay, cool." I think you were accurate on that one, though.
Yeah, well, I need to do something. Apparently, I'm still not doing anything right because
that's like a, some comedian was talking about how like he's a straight guy, and he was talking about how his gay friend, he's like, he was in a slump or whatever, and his gay friends were like, "Oh, you haven't had sex since whatever," and he's like, "Look, that's like a fucking NBA player making fun of a fucking guy in the Harlem Globetrotters saying that you're an NBA player, like you didn't score as many points as me." And he's like, "Listen, there's not exactly a lot of defense in your fucking league." You know what I mean? It's not like there's a lot of, guys existing.
The dudes are like, "You want to go? You want to go? Yeah, let's go."
It's like, at the end of the day, you're dealing with men here. They're not going to be like, "Caralho, I just can't do this." Like, I'm not.
They're not going to worry about feelings. We're too involved with our feelings. I don't know. I just don't know where the men are, Alan. Where are the men?
I don't know, but you're talking about moving from LA. It's tough to find a guy in LA. I don't know, KB, if you move to Florida or somewhere else, if the men are going to get better. I mean, LA's got some good-looking men and women. There's a lot of single people.
But where are they?
In LA.
Renato claims they're all on apps. I don't want to do an app. Like, where are they? Like, literally, where are they?
Do that.
Renato knows. He's he's the.
Do you
the
really
single.
want me to get on an app to meet people like Renato? That literally is my argument. It literally, like, it's my argument. It speaks for itself.
Renato, how does it work? Do you find somebody on? I've been married a long time, so you find somebody on an app, you meet them, you take care of business, and you're done. KB, you wouldn't go down that road.
The way it go with me is you get a couple of that one show interest, you show interest in that ones, and then you kind of got a roster of like you got like a queue,
A roster.
You know what it's almost like? You know when you're surfing at home on Netflix and you're like, you know what? I don't got time to watch this one right now, but fuck, I'm kind of interested in that one. I'm gonna put it on the queue. So you
Add the
end up
list.
getting yourself like a little queue, and then when you're kind of getting squirrely and you're like, you know what? I got a little Chinese. You know, I freed up some stuff this weekend. I feel like doing a little something. Then you hit that once, and then what happened is maybe here's the smart way to do it. In the middle of the week or whatever, do something very innocuous. You want to go for a hike or go for a coffee? You know what I mean? Because you're gonna find out real quick in person there if you guys got any kind of.
Don't commit to a full night out. Commit to something a little.
You can have the luxury of
smart.
that. You can have the luxury of that. Since the guy is usually paying for that ones, it can really hurt your bank account if every time you're going for dinner and drinky poos, because if it don't works out, you're spending like $150 on someone that you don't even like.
Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow. So
well, obviously they would like me, but
no, but you might
I'm cool.
No, not that, but I'm just saying you might not like them.
Right.
But worst case scenario, you get a free fucking meal and a drink out of the fucking deal. For me, it's the opposite. It's a shitty date and I gotta pay for that one. Ooh, caralho. That's add insult to injury. Yeah. So if you do the first stuffs and see like how much it costs for a fucking coffee and a fucking biscotch or whatever the fuck she wanna chew on or whatever, fine. And then if we don't like each other, say la vie. You know, you're never gonna call that.
You're out less than $30 or whatever, just for a coffee date.
Here's the thing: if you do the fucking drinky poos and all that stuff, let's say it works out. So, but it's still the first date. Women have a thing in their mind where I'm a slut, or he's gonna think I'm a scumbag if I give it up the first date. So you're not gonna get laid the first night. However, if you do the coffee thing first, then everything is a go. You have
a feeler, yeah.
And technically, in her mind, she know you better. It's not the first date. When you go on the heel date, which is a night chime, the chime of Blackula.
That counts as date number 2.
Yeah. And you're likely to at least get a blowjob, or if you're lucky, or if she's lucky, even you're gonna get even the full munch, the whole schmear
on the second date.
if I'm having,
and then what? Do you ever see that girl again?
Of course, if we had a good time, of course. But then when she starts to do this, then she go like this. Listen, I'm thinking about maybe we only gonna say, and I go, oh, okay, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. Know.
People on it. So you're proving my point. So people on an app expect to get it on the second date, and then
that's me. That's my modus operandi. But for some other people, some guys is looking. Oh God, some guys is looking for a fucking relationship. That's their problem. I have a different modus operandi. I like to find professional women who have a life of their own, where they work a lot and stuff, and they just want to unwind and have some sex every once in a while. And someone to watch a movie, have a couple laughs.
And you're their huckleberry, huh?
The Nacho berry, that one.
Nacho berry.
Yeah.
I get it. It's. I mean, it's. I guess it's whatever everybody's looking for, you know.
Yeah, and to
gotta find what you're looking for.
I guess, yeah. I guess if you're honest about what you want and what you're looking for sure.
Don't want any kids or all that stuff, and you know what? In this day and age, you're allowed to be bisexual, trisexual, whatever the fuck you want. You know, you're allowed to be a different gender, whatever you want. All I'm asking is, I just want to be single, and still I identify as a single person. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's too wild and exotic. I don't think I should be shamed for that. I think I should
No.
be applauded for that, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to have any more kids. If it happened, it happened. But I'm not planning on any of that one, at least.
I'm not, and I'm not judging you. I just was asking the question if most guys on the app are like you.
I think that I'm on the extreme end of a spectrum where I'm over here, and then a lot of guys, and some guys it's more hair, some guys is all way over here. But I think a lot of guys is in the middle. Like, I think a lot of guys you're gonna see on there is of the opinion where they're like, of course I wanna have some sex, but I'm open if I find someone that I click with. But they wouldn't.
I don't know, man. I
if
saw
they
something and they were talking.
But me, even if I click with someone, I don't want to be with that one forever, because I know
I also read something where they're talking about all the sexually transmitted diseases on the rise in Los Angeles County. So I was like,
Hey, listen, you know what's another stuff about that community? I try to also, these days I'm trying to find myself, instead of on those sites that have more squares like Match Cupid, okay Cupid, Christian Cupids and shit like that. I try to find the ones who is more into non-monogamous stuff. And you know what you find in that community? These people is, because they dipping their toe in the waters, they're getting HCG test on the regular, and also these women go so far is to demand, like, either you got a negative test or it's a no-go. So,
and you believe everybody on those?
No, I'm saying they actually, some people will ask to see each other's shit before they even gonna go on the date.
Yeah.
And myself, when I start doing that stuff, I just win. I got a clean bill of health. So I'm good. I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, good for you.
I'm enjoying that one because I'm not getting any younger, and I like it life. I like it. You know, I like pussy. Call me crazy. Am I liking pussy? Oh, God,
I felt like you were beating around the bush for a minute, but then you stopped.
Well, listen, I was beating around the bush. Exactly,
oh shit!
But you know, you can only beat around so far. That's why I do in the coffee shop, where I don't gotta money beat around the bush.
Anyway.
Some food for thought. Food for thought, KB.
What is your Uncle Hanach also is going into the bush?
Anyway, but yes, well, I'm glad to know that you are finding success on those apps.
Some, and then some is not.
On that
success.
note,
yeah, and also sometimes just like normal shit when you meet, some is not a success, and some people is, you thought they was interesting, they're uninteresting, or they're not whatever. You know, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling on a date you'd be like, if you didn't like a girl, she would know probably right away.
Now, you know what? I can be very civil. I can find a way to let them to enjoy lifey until then they never see me again. But during the stuff, even if I was not attracted, I'm gonna find a way to have a great conversation or laugh, have a few laughs or something. I'm not gonna just be like, the way some chicks, if they don't like you, they can be very cruel.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, yeah, I'm yeah, I don't even know how we ended up going down that road.
we went down a rabbit hole.
I embraced the modern technology, because in the old days, you know, when I wish that this stuff existed when I was in my early 20s. I mean, literally in the old days, you used to have to either go to a fucking bar and like pull numbers out of the fucking bar, or you just had to like walk up to chicks.
I know, but I don't want to
hard.
meet people on an app. It's like that has
What's
zero.
worse, meet them at the fucking house.
No desire to do that. Anyway, Alan, we just got back from Paris, where we were there. You were able to take your beautiful wife there.
She's got a negative subject. Talk about marriage now.
No. I was just gonna say, kind of bringing it around, and we'll let you go in a minute, but kind of bringing it around to something like you were saying before about your persistence in hitting up our boss for the job. I think I was even mentioning this to you, Renato, on the show last week, that I said, like, during the middle of everything that was going on, I wrote down on my notebook to Alan, I was like, dude, this is effing awesome, right? Like, and like, I'm so glad that you persisted, type thing or whatever, because like, we really do have a great gig, and you will hear both of us always talk about how much we love what we're doing. But in Paris, especially, the way the desk was set up, a lot of time we're up higher in the arena. This time we were right on the floor. To be somewhere where they have never seen the UFC live before is special anyway. And that crowd was like so extra hyped. But to me, Alan, that was like, and I've done this for a while now, but like, that was one of my favorite post shows ever.
Yeah. The Paris crowd was, they had energy. They were into it. And sometimes those shows just work out where on that card, Renato, 5 fighters from France fought. All 5 won. The main event obviously won. It was one of those that, like, for the UFC to debut in Paris and have that result, it couldn't have been better for the company. So it benefits everyone, the fans there, the viewers that watch UFC. And then if we get to go back to Paris once a year, or make it like London where they go 2-3 times a year, then hell yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Great.
That'd be great.
To see a new market open up like that for the people over there. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what?
KB,
sorry, KB. We used to talk about this all the time about UFC Africa. Will that ever happen? I saw Dana White or somebody say the other day, or maybe it was Hunter Campbell, that there will be a UFC Africa by next year. By next year, they're saying it'll happen.
Cool.
So that'll be interesting.
So cool.
Which country would you bet it was going to be in there?
Well, probably South Africa, because they have EFC Africa already. Like, they have the infrastructure to do it. But Nigeria is where we have the most fighters from.
True.
They obviously could do it too. We could go to someplace like Morocco. You could go to Kenya, but it's probably going to be South Africa, I would imagine, just because it's the most. They've already EFC Africa puts all their shows on.
The bigger city over there.
Yeah.
That is
so.
A lot of African.
Enriquez Duplessis. But I would imagine, hopefully I get that assignment. I would love to go freaking UFC Africa. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing.
That'd be insane.
Whew. That'd be awesome.
That
would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I remember I was talking to some fucking guys who was visiting Champ Planet from South Africa. And then we was watching we was over at Eddie Perez's house watching the fight, and it was a Jacare fight, in the striking fight. And then there was like, oh, bro, hurry, Jacare is about to fight, Jacare. And then I was like, about Jacare, and there was like, they would start laughing. They go, he calls him Jacare.
And you're like, that's his name.
Bro, that is Jacare. And I'm like, oh, caralho, I guess you know better than me, porra.
Yeah, because I'm only Brazilian, but okay.
South African, porra.
Yeah.
Wow.
At any rate, yeah. Well, anyway, I hope that happens. I don't know. I didn't hear Dana say that, but I do hope that's true. That would be amazing.
I like all that stuff.
I would love to go there. Yeah, because I've been to Africa, to Morocco, and I would love to go back. So that's the only place in Africa I've been, and it was so cool. So
yeah, I've never been, so I'm down to go to it.
Hashish and light-skinned men. You're gonna enjoy that one.
At any rate, Alan, thank you for joining us here. I know you guys go way back as well, and you're just somebody that people were like, oh yeah, you guys gotta have Alan on, and I was like, of course we do. And so it's nice that you could come and kind of celebrate our 1-year anniversary with us. I mean, it's not like we're having a rollicking part. We should have had disco lights and stuff, Renato. Why didn't we
because this is the first one. Let's not get carried away. I mean, what do you call this? This is like the paper anniversary or whatever.
Yeah, 1-year anniversary it is. I think it is just paper.
It's great. But we don't want to
pace ourselves.
Fucking selfie, porra.
Right. Right.
Like your boy Patty Pimblett, you know, he said, "We're not Tories. We don't get fucking ahead of ourselves, kid."
Like you've been here, kid.
Yeah. So
Uh,
we have to be, you know, we gotta play it cool here, you know.
yeah,
And
you're right.
we had to
You're
show. Listen, I could
You're
have
right.
played, you know, some celebration type of song for the stuffs, but I played "Born Onto the Bayou" because I have
I know you did.
his fact. I didn't want it, our success overshadow, you know, some of the hardship
Yeah.
of Jouban's career.
Alan,
Yeah.
thank
Oh
you for
shit.
joining us. Wait.
Now I think you should sing to him one of those old Louisiana Cajun songs. You know, oh filete, oh.
I don't know any Cajun songs. What
What?
songs would be
Give us
Cajun?
a Cajun songs. One of those ones you and your old grandpappy used to sing on the Bible. Don't you have that? You guys have.
I just know what swing low. Wait, oh, I have to get the low voice. Wait,
Wait,
is that
who's more of a Cajun, like a ghetto
swing low,
family, or
What about this isn't a Cajun song. What about Jolene? You know Jolene by Dolly Parton?
Jolene? Oh, Dolly, right?
Jolene?
Wait, Jolene,
Yes.
Jolene. Please don't take my man. This is just because you can.
Oh God! How about young Dolly Parton? Oh my goodness gracious!
Jolene.
How about
Oh, Dolly is great though, isn't she?
but young
Dolly was ahead of her time, right?
absolute in every fucking way. And speaking of which, you know that Dolly Parton, she talked about it before. She had for years like open stuffs with that husband of hers that she been with her whole fucking
Oh, I didn't even know she was married.
Yeah, exactly. She's been married to someone. She's been like in her maybe even since her late teens or something, and she's been with a who's who of these people because she'd be like, I was just a hot lady and my husband knew it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like she had one of those kind of arrangement. And imagine young, like late 70s, fucking Dolly Parton. God, are you?
Yeah.
Who's hot?
I mean, the whole stuff, the voice, she heavy dimples. I mean, let's not, I'm not going to overstate the obvious, but also she had also curves, style. Oh, God. I mean,
She's great, and she's written a lot of songs for other people. Like she's very talented.
Something else, God. Islands in the Stream. Wait, was that her or Linda Hunt?
That was her and Kenny Rogers, right? Islands in the stream.
That is what we are.
That is what we are.
Islands in the Stream. And we rely on each other. Ha ha.
Get away with me to another. Isn't it something like that? And
that
we rely on each other.
What do you have on that? That's Alvin on the Chipmunk. At least put it to like the.
This was my anniversary gift to myself.
Put it. Let's see some. Whoa, God! Look what happened here. He just, as soon as you started singing, he acted left.
He's back. Alan is back.
Like what's his name? A Snagglepuss. He's like Karyn Bryant. Exit stage left even.
We'll Renato, let us let him go. It's late.
No, I want to hear some more war story. No, only kidding. Wait, is he frozen?
But he's frozen. Yeah, it's frozen.
Hey, wake up.
Alan Jouban, where are you?
He's having a brain aneurysm. He's like, I'm stuck. Hey, look, I'm on my phone. I'm on my messages. I'm looking at my stories. Hey, listen, it was great while it lasted, Jouban.
Yeah, somebody's.
Jouban.
Now I sound like Chidi and Jokwani. I'm Chidi and Jokwani. Chidi and Jokwani. He has such a great voice.
It's depressing looking at him like this.
Oh, I know. Wait. Let me think. He might have just texted.
He's a heel stiff.
He's gonna bounce. He's like, I don't know. His computer just blacked out. He's gonna run. Okay, so I'm catching up with you. Okay.
It was
okay.
Now get the ghost of Alan Jouban out of here.
I will.
Ah, thank God.
Goodbye and good riddance, Alan Jouban.
I like it. You know what that remind me of?
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan Jouban. Now,
we love him. We do.
You know what that remind me of?
What?
We do love Alan Jouban. You know that he remind me of that voice that you have on that? Did you
Yeah.
used to play pinball?
I love pinball.
Do you remember there was a one called Golgar or something like that? It's like from like 1981 or something. And it would have like a devil and it would go Golgar. And then when like the balls come,
Was he kind of red with in the middle of the thing?
huh? It looked like almost like heavy metal kind of arch, like the devil.
I've probably played it down at the bar 7B or whatever down in Alphabet
Man.
City.
Oh,
They used to have great pinball in there. I love pinball. Pinball is one of those things where I like when I get my next place, like my house, I would like to have a real pinball machine in it. I would love that. And a Centipede arcade version of Centipede. If those two games, pinball and Centipede, and I'd be a happy kid.
I remember a lot. I used to like Galaga. That was another one.
That's a good one.
Wasn't there one called like Berserker?
Berserk. Yeah, my brother was great at Asteroid. He used to play that at Westford House of Pizza to the point where he'd play it and like turn the game over. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. See, I never was that good. Like
no,
that.
He was great at it. He was great at Asteroids. But yeah, I like and Defender was good.
Defender was good. You remember there was knockoffs of fucking of Donkey Kong because it was successful.
Yeah.
They had like a fake. They had one that was.
There was a fake. Yes, I do.
Popeye was like a fake one.
I remember, and also I was good at Tempest.
I remember Tempest.
I loved that game where you had to avoid the spikes and you had to move the thing around the thing and not get spiked. Ooh, I loved that game.
I
loved that game.
You know what you just reminded me of? After the movie Tron came out, they had a fucking arcade game where it had like you could choose so many things. You could do the discs. You could do the bicycle where you catch someone in the fucking.
Yes, I used to love that where you cut them off and you try to cut them off.
How good was that shit?
Yeah, awesome.
And now I'm starting to remember all this shit. Burger Time.
I remember Burger Time.
Wait, what else they had back in the day? I used to play. Oh, Jungle Hunch, where it was like a Tarzan type of character, but he was blonde, and you would do different stuff. You could swing on the vines, and then
that wasn't Pitfall on Activision or whatever.
Pitfall was another one.
I remember Dig 'em or whatever used to dig in the. Or Dig Dug. That's it. Yeah, Dig Dug.
Oh, Frogger. All that shit.
Gotta love Frogger. But yeah, I do love.
I was always broke as a child, so I was the kind of guy that like I would be hanging out on the pizza parlor and then try to beg the older teenagers for quarters.
Right. Or sometimes somebody would.
They would line up the quarters and just be like, "Come on, you got like 10 of that one. Let me just get one." And they'd be like, "Here, fucking take that one."
Right. Or they'd like get a free play and they really didn't realize it and they walked away or whatever, and then you get to jump in and get like
the greatest hustle. I don't even know if they still have this restaurant, and I don't know if they still have do this policy, even if they have that one. But there used to be a chain restaurant called Beefsteak Charlie's in the tri-state area. They have that one.
I remember the name.
Now, if you went to the shitty bar, which you can imagine how depressing a bar is in a place that's basically a sizzler.
Yeah, totally. That's where you would go after your bowling match, though, with the team from work.
That kind of stuff. But the great thing about that shit was it wasn't for kids, but in the bar, they had fucking Tribal Chop video game in there in the bar part.
Oh, nice.
The cool thing was it was it was to keep people there drinking and stuff. So,
so you're playing Miss Pac-Man while you're having drinks on the tabletop. Right.
They give you free drink, whatever. So it was the opposite. They give you free fucking video games so you can drink it. But if you're a kid and you sneak over there, it was unlimited men's on there. Oh my God. Until you get kicked out, they go, "Hey kid, get the fuck out of here."
I do remember that though, right? Yeah, you could just sit down and play and you're like, oh man.
And there's like
Pac-Man at a tabletop is pretty great.
Cigarette burns all on the fucking buttons because they cigarette and drinks and shit. Yeah. It's a different shiny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can find those kind of arcades. There's one downtown, right? Of like a coin. What is it? In Vegas, there's a place called Insert Coin and stuff like they have those old school places.
Back then, people was really smoking. He created the cigarette burns.
No, you're right. But yeah, Galaga was good. But like, yeah, my favorites were Centipede and Tempest.
part. If there's some old crusty people who remember this stuff, hold on.
And I remember. Well, and I love Dance Dance Revolution and stuff like that too.
What the fuck? He said, this person said, Lord of the Pies said, my dad would give us $20 to $40 fucking dollars.
What? My dad would give us $20 to $40 to hang out at the arcade all day while he sold dope at the house. Well,
I wish I could go back in time and be you adopted children.
Yikes. Oh, well, this guy's the Ender Band is saying they have a couple places in Columbus that have all kinds of old arcades and pinball. That's cool. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. Hey, okay. Well, so speaking of old school, speaking of old timey, Renato, one of your countrymen, the GOAT, the featherweight GOAT, has decided to call it a career. Jose Aldo has announced, his retirement, and I just want to say, I have a feeling you second my thoughts here on this, and I feel like a lot of people do, but like, I've said this, like, if I were a fighter, I would want to fight like Jose Aldo. Like, he's my first favorite fighter. I forget when I first saw him. I don't remember
Probably
what it was. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was WEC or something, but just there was something about the ferocity with which he fought, the leg kicks, that little friggin' Terminator that he was. Like,
he was ferocious and had it was like he was one of the first guys you saw that had crisp technique mixed with, I don't care if I get knocked out, you know what I mean? So it was like Paul Harder mixed with like laser technique. Yeah,
the way he would like kick you and like, yeah, like you said, like, just he wasn't going to go away. And to hear the stories of, the way he came up. And I remember being in Brazil when Leonardo Santos won the Ultimate Fighter, and those two are very close. And then you hear the stories of how Leo really helped support Jose early on, how Jose, like, I lived in the gym, like all that stuff, those rags to riches stories, like the true gritty nothing to who he is now. Like, he's such a success story. And all along the way was always so kind, never turned into a conceited a-hole, like wasn't a jerk, handled all this stuff with Connor with grace, like what, just like a class, like the freaking ideal, just the ideal of what a fighter should be. I just love that dude.
I saw him one time. I can't remember. It was one of the hair instances where he got Healy beat up, like his face was all fucked up. Okay. I want to say it was when he fought Blast, one of those time and had a bad fight. I just remember. And then I saw him randomly on like in the airport, like I was getting a connecting flight or something, and I saw him, and he was so fucked. He had like sunglasses on because of that, I almost didn't even say no. And then I said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna came up." And I said, "Listen, big fan, blah blah blah." And he was so gracious, even he wasn't trying to hide. He was so nice and sweet, even though he was probably at such a fucking low point. And he didn't go, it's not a good Chinese or whatever. He was just so friendly and nice. And I'll never forget that, because it would be easy. And it was kind of even shitty of me to came up to him, because clearly he probably didn't want to see nobody, And it was kind of off.
But you were coming up with something positive, though.
True, but I could imagine he's probably got a fucking splitting headache. It's just not the best Chinese, And still, I was like, fuck, I can't waste the aperture. And funny enough, randomly, I walked by. Oh God, the guy that say whenever I show a young picture of myself, people say I look exactly like. It's a fucking beast. We all know his name. I just can't. I'm having a brain fart. Dutch fucking guy. A Dutch big light skinned fucking guy that looked like a fucking Hulk. He looked like me if I turned into the Hulk.
In the UFC?
Yeah. Fuck. It's a common one that we all know. I just can't. It's a brain fart.
Dutch that looks like you?
Dutch, fucking huge gorilla of a man, but he kind of light skinned and have curly fucking hair.
Oh, Alistair.
Yeah, over him. And he had just got knocked out fucking cold, but he was like I height before I saw
Yeah.
Fucking Aldo. I walked by and see this guy, and I was like, "Hey, my brother!" And then he kind of was like, "Hey," and he was nice too, even though he had just got he had got knocked the fuck out, and he was with some good like white chick for her.
Yeah, his girl is blonde girl. That
Or was that his girl? I didn't even know that.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I mean, he had a girl that I remember meeting that was blonde. So I don't know if it's the same one. Can't ever assume, but yes, yeah. So Jose, may he just, and his wife just had another baby, and like may he ride off into the sunset. Like the dude is just a legend. Listen, Volkanovski is doing amazing things too, but Jose is the guy that put that division on the map, and it was synonymous for years and years and years. So
I'm gonna pray for him that height when he's at his most vulnerable, his wife had to give him a baby to add insult to injury.
I think they saw it as a positive thing. I mean, he was tears of joy, and he was anyway. I'm happy for him, and I do wish him the best. Okay, so Renato, some other things that I wanted to get to. I am curious in some of the MMA news I wanted to get to, but what was your take? Did you watch much of Abu Dhabi, the ADCC? We know Gordon Ryan, once again, the guy is just incredible. Yeah. But I'm curious, a few people have asked in the comments, and I too was curious what your take is on if you were watching ADCC and what you thought.
Yeah. I saw a lot of the marquee ones. I saw, I wasn't there. They, for some reason, they didn't pay for me to be there or whatever. So they could have. They got my number. Yeah, sure. So I saw. I was very impressed. I mean, look, at this point, we're gonna check Gordon Ryan for Granch. He's become like this used to happen to Sean Penn a lot. Like he would have like the best performance you ever seen, and then he's just don't even get like even nominated for the Oscar because you just like
everybody's like, oh, it's just him doing amazing things again, like always.
You just take guys like that for granted, or like Daniel Day-Lewis. They're like, what are we gonna give it to him every fucking year or whatever? People sometimes suffer from, or LeBron James, like people
won't know how great I am until I leave, and then they'll be like, damn, KB was the best.
Now it's just easy to be like, ho hum, yeah, he win every fucking one, the absolute and that one. Yeah. I think maybe you're gonna have to have some time away from it to realize the stuff he's done. Look, Grant, he didn't have 27 titles or whatever, but aside from me, we're witnessing something you probably not gonna see a lot again or whatever. So we kind of nobody's really that surprising that he's walk away winning again. I think the most exciting stuff was to watch a kid of 19 years old, Cade Hochola, who a lot of people accuse me of him and his twin brother as being one of my kids. I can understand why.
I can see you as a Rutola father, dad.
I can say why they saying this. I'm flattered, but no, you're not gonna get a dime out of me, Hochola brother. It's enough what they're doing in jiu-jitsu, and they should be glad. And if they happen to be kids of mine, then you're welcome to you guys. And there's no fucking wonder they're sweeping up.
It's in their genes.
Now, to see that kid have, and even Gordon Ryan didn't have this. He had all submission victory. And let me tell you something. Some of these guys who he beat, this Champ Planet kid named PJ Barch, which I don't know if you're that deep in the crates.
I don't know him, but
this fucking kid is a monster. And he's a grown fucking man who is very, very, very talented, very athletic, very, very good, not only at jiu-jitsu, but at hassling. I mean, this kid is top shelf. For a 19-year-old kid to just go in there and give to him a submission like that is, to me, knowing who, some of these guys I haven't hold with and I don't know intimately like that. Mm-hmm. What this kid doing is very fucking special, and he's going to be a problem barring some kind of injuries or something, he's gonna be a big fucking problem for the whole grappling community for many years to come. And so, in a way, that was the most exciting thing, even more exciting than Gordon Hyan, is to see a 19-year-old kid, to see the birth of one of the greats.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, I'd met a lot of the guys who placed highly, when I was doing when Chael before the stupid pandemic, when I used to do Submission Underground with Chael and stuff, it was fun. So I met Gordon, I met Nikki, I met Craig, I met all those guys, and they're great. You know what I mean? And so it was fun. So while we were at work on Saturday, I was working with Chiesa because Dean and Dean Thomas, but Dean was out by the Octagon because he does the whole like coach thing or whatever. So Chiesa and I Chiesa had his like iPad or whatever there. So we had the ADCC on, like while we were watching our fights too. And so it was fun, like multitasking and everything. But so I was able to see a decent amount of some stuff. And like, I know Cobrinha's son, Kennedy, was in for a while and made it in a little bit, but I didn't get to see eventually what happened to him or whatever. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And then of course with Kenny calling it and stuff, it was fun. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, he's another one that's on the come up. I mean, obviously he didn't get it done to the championship or whatever, but he's a very young man too. And he had, over the years, in a relatively short amount of time, I'm sure it don't feel short to him, he's another one that in a couple years, these are the new guys that you're gonna be hearing all the fucking chiming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, Kennedy Maciel. People should know that name.
Like Buchacha and these kinds of guys. Leandro Lowe. Those guys. It's like you're hearing those names, and you're gonna start to hear these names. Is gonna start to be the ones you're hearing them. You was hearing.
Did you watch the super fight, the Gavao super fight and stuff too?
Unfortunately, I didn't see that one happen. I saw the heat plays and stuff. And look. He's no shame in the game. Gavao had his Hun, and it was a legendary Hun. Mm-hmm. This is simply the next generation is passing the torch to the next generation.
And I saw at one point, I saw your boy Vinny.
Yeah. And he freshed up people's memory how that one. He was passed out from obesity in the first round.
He's not obese. But I was watching Vinny for a while as well.
It was they had to stop. They had to defibrillate the fucking guy. Yeah.
Hey, if they defibbed him in the first round, I want to go through some things with you, Renato. It is our first anniversary, and before it's our anniversary. But before when we at the beginning of the show, I was kind of going through this, but I wanted to bring up some things with you. And see, just some thoughts, because I was telling people, we have some people who've never seen the show before or who are late adopters, right? Who got here a little bit later. And so they maybe didn't know all the people that we've had on. So what I was thinking could be kind of fun would be for me to kind of go through and just kind of needle drop, as we used to call it in the record biz, when we just kind of pop through, and I just kind of get your thoughts on some of the people that we've had on, and just to kind of get your thoughts.
You mean like consciousness, like you say like blue, and then I go Smurfs. You mean
So I go okay. So I'm going to be getting, because like I said, this is crazy that we have 52 episodes of this show, which is amazing now. Okay. So one of the earlier people that we've had on was our good friend Anthony Lionheart Smith. He came on, basically like episode 3 here. So what are your thoughts when we think of Anthony and Lionheart?
Light-skinned.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah. And he used to pop in with us for a while, and we kind of knew it was going to happen, but when Michael Bisping changed his podcast around, and I remember being at work one time with Anthony, and he's like, Mike is blowing up his phone, or Mike was trying to reach him. And he's like, I know why, because I think he wants me to join his podcast. And I was like, God dang it. Because I knew as soon as that happened that we wouldn't see him anymore.
Well, that happens, sometimes you
poached.
You give someone a platform and you take them from nobody, from obscurity, and then they forget what they came.
Well, yeah, he used to hang out with us a lot more, but anyway, he has 4 children. He's a busy man, so I can respect that. Okay.
For
Listen,
thing.
okay, so do you remember the time we had Merab Dvalishvili and Al Jouban?
I do remember. Wasn't they like showering together or something like that, or taking?
It was after they were working out together. But do you remember what they talked about with the trip that Merab took Aljo on?
Yeah, to fucking Dagestan or Kazakhstan.
To the Black Sea.
Oh, he took him to the Afro-American Sea. And the irony is that Aljo couldn't even swim in there, Karaji.
Right.
The African-American Sea, he can't even swim. Oh, poor him.
That's right.
The sweet misery, the sweet irony.
We talked about that. Okay, so there was a time Uriah Hall was on, and he taught us a bunch of Jamaican curse words.
Uriah Hall. Wow.
He's retired now.
He tried. We've been on that long where we had him in the prime of his career, and then he tried after that.
That's right. We had the champ Rose Namajunas. I know you're very excited about Rose. And Pat.
Who? Patch was on? Oh, yeah, Patch was there.
But you love having Rose on.
Oh, God, the feelings was mutual.
So Dan Hooker was a great guest.
Dan Hooker was a great guest. We talked about Maori boys and stuff like that, and getting beat up and cheesed and all that kind of stuff back in New Zealand, back by the Kiwi, and back in New Zealand and stuff. Yeah,
that was very good. Okay, so this is coming back around, but surprisingly, maybe we should have him on again. Actually, maybe this should just be our pre-Halloween rituals. To just have Josh Barnett on the Wednesday before Halloween or something. But because for folks who don't know, we went on a real deep dive on the movies and all kinds of stuff, and we talked metal, we talked horror movies and stuff. But we could maybe just make that an official thing that we just do a Halloween episode with Josh.
What I wouldn't mind doing is before we do that, me, you, and him, either separately or together, whatever, is watch 3 fucking obscure horror schlocky horror movie, so that we can talk about that shit on the podcast. We watch it beforehand so that we had it.
That's a good idea. We should do that. We could find we find 3 crap movies and we each watch it, and then
who liked it, who didn't, who liked what performance, what's scary.
That'd be fun. I'm down with that. We should reach out. We should do that. That'd be fun. I'm down.
Yep.
But anyway, for people who already want to just go back and see the one that we already did, we talk a lot about movies, and so especially Halloween and kind of stuff. So people should get into there if they're in the mood for that. We had Al Iaquinta on.
Or he fucking each other.
Iaquinta, yeah, he's retired too. Guys, we had on Glover Teixeira. After he won the title, a few days after he won, we had Glover on.
He knew where you came. This is the place to wait. Now, let me ask you something. You freezing every once in a while for me. Does that mean that I'm doing it?
No, you're not freezing for me. So
then we good then. Because I think what on you shit is what.
Okay. I think we're okay. Listen, we have Bobby Green on. We've had Clay. Bobby Green was great. Clay Guida was great. Talking about he's a Hall of Famer. Oh my God. You know which one was great? Carlos Condit. Do you remember talking about the balloon gangs?
I'll never forget that. It was enlightening to find out that they have an air balloon gang out there.
Guys, if you didn't know about the hot air balloon gangs in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you need to look for the episode with Carlos Conduit. I mean, come on, people.
Conduit. That should have been his fucking name, the Conduit.
So Carlos Condit has been on with us. Our boy Eric Anders has been on with us. We had Sergio Pettis on with us.
We had Sergio. That's high. We had Sergio.
Sergio was so good. Listen, we've had Dean on, our buddy Dean. Dana popped in for a surprise episode. I'm gonna try to reach out once what we have, because Contender has 2 more weeks, and then I was gonna see if Dana could maybe come on with us for real. Because that time it was just a surprise. But I feel like once his Contender Series is done, his Tuesdays would be freer. Maybe he can come on with us again.
We can see what's going to happen with that. But he came of his own volition. He came on.
That's right. He popped in when we used to do it. We started the show on Instagram. Hey, look at Cubby Swanch has been here.
Fuck, we had Cub Swans.
We had Cub Swanson. We had Calvin Cada, because you know I love me some Calvin Cada. Listen, we've had so many people on this. Okay, so we had on Rashad was on with us.
We had Hashad.
The Chris Weidman was a very special episode.
A lot of healing was done on that one. And a lot of stuff out.
I feel like we should really pause, because the Chris Weidman episode was, I feel like, kind of like a turning point.
It was
a turning point for you guys.
It was. I buried the hatch. Now he don't have to look over both shoulder whenever he's in LA.
Yeah, I would highly recommend. That's a very special episode, folks. The Chris Weidman episode. Definitely look it up. Max Payne Griff is on with us a bunch of times. Look at, we had Marvin Vittori. Was so fun.
We had Marvin Vittori.
Okay, listen, we've also had on we had Khalil Roundtree on with us. We've had my dear friend Gegard. That was so fun.
Oh, that was another of my very favorite episodes.
Yeah, I love Gegard. Okay, so we've had him on. We had Kelvin Gastelum was on with us. We've had on Mickey Gall. We've had on Drew Dober. We've had on Rob Funch.
How the fuck we didn't mention him before with Kada?
I know. Listen, we had Tracy Cortez on with us. Wait,
hold on. Don't.
Brian Ortega.
Never mind Brian Ortega. Now, don't just brush over Cortez.
I know you would love to brush over Tracy Cortez. A lot of people looking to brush over Tracy Cortez.
I have paintbrush that have never been used on paints before. Like, you use for watercolor, and I'm blindfold her, and I'm trace the outline of her breasts and her body, the contour of that one. Oh, God. First, I up with the bigger brushes like that, and then I go in for the fine tuning.
Beautiful girl. Yeah, she was a great guest. Yeah. And Brian came on too, so that one was really fun. People should definitely look that one up. You listen.
Was either here
Dan Hot Chocolate was on with us. Danny Roberts.
That's true. Danny Hubbard, Hot Chocolate.
Wonder Boy was on with us. That was really fun. We had Tim Means on. God damn, this guest list is unbelievable. Seriously, folks.
Max Payne Griff, who's like your favorite neighbor from next door on the sitcom.
I know. We had Adrian Yanez on with us, guys.
True.
We had Shane Burgos. We had Karate Hottie. We've had Cynthia Calvillo. We had on Jeff Neal. Listen, guys, it's ridiculous. This guest list is so good. Perillo, Mighty Mouse. Look at it. It's stupid how good our guest list is.
And then also, people even would want to watch it even if no guest is on there. They still want to. So you throw the guest on. That's gilding the lily. You know what I mean? Like too much. Too much of the good stuff.
It is. Well, I should let people know that, so all of those shows are on my Karyn Bryant YouTube channel, and then they are also on festivities.com. But every week we broadcast this also to Renato's Twitch and over to my Twitter. And now it is available for an audio download as well on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. So, Renato, we're really making it available to the people. And this is the end of season 1, basically. Since it's a whole year, we'll start next week. Will be season 2.
This is the season finale, Pohan.
Yeah.
So
should I show my tip? No.
I was just about you. Are we sight?
I said,
Jinx. I was just about to say the same stuff. How could we be thinking the same stuff? Wow, that's almost spooky. I think that's a sign. It means show you shits. I mean, show everybody.
I told you I've never been in New Orleans. I don't know how.
Oh God, I'm gonna throw you some beads. You know what? Show us those hazelnuts, God, are you? Chunin Chokyo. Oh, boy. Give those one. Yeah, sugar babies. Oh, the female form, porra. Okay.
Oh God.
Listen.
Hey,
Okay.
okay.
Don't want
What?
that cheeks then. At least it's the least you can split the difference.
Yeah, we should really wrap it up. It has been a minute. It's an extended bonus edition since it is our anniversary show, but we really probably should get to stepping, as they say.
It's about to be an extended boner edition if you're not careful. Wait, let's see here. What they're talking about. You know what?
People just saying they want me to show them off. Oh, you just froze. Wait, what?
The Duke one wasn't an official one. That was when I was drowning my sorrows, and I just went on my Instagram because you was like out of town or something like that, and he just randomly came in.
With who?
Leduc. He's a guy that fights. I can't even fucking remember. He got famous because Joe Hogan had him on one day. He does this fucking. I can never remember the name, but he does this kind of Muay Thai. It's the most brutal shit you've ever seen in your life, because they allow it's all the normal Muay Thai, but I think maybe with no gloves, and then on top of that, they allow headbutts as many as you want. It is hard to watch, and then
sounds hard to watch.
On top of that, once you've been knocked out cold, you have like this period of like 2 minutes for you. If your corner can revive you, you can just get back in the fight.
Oh, great. That sounds great.
It's insane. I forgot the fucking name. Anyway, this is the guy who's like the Michael Jorginho of that. And I forget, I think he's like from France or somewhere. He have like or fucking, I can't remember. Maybe he's Moroccan or Tunisian or something. I can't fucking remember. But he's an interesting character. And it was one where it wasn't an official show. I just went on my fucking livey.
Oh, gotcha.
To kind of like keep them from killing themselves, from being depressed and going through withdrawal.
Gotcha. They might have missed me. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
And he jumped in there, and it was like a surprise or whatever, and that's what about. So maybe that's why you didn't know what the fuck we was talking about.
Gotcha. I didn't know. I did not know. But yeah, there's a lot of places people can find us. And so yeah, this is episode 52. And it really has been fun, Renato. I guess the reason it probably is working is because we never actually see each other. We only see each other at a distance.
Okay.
And it's just once a week.
You're lucky you're not seeing me in person. You can't resist. You smell that imported cologne and you'd be like,
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You would smell that one whiff of that cologne. Yeah. And then you see a little bit of shimmering off the collarbone or whatever. You'd be like, oh. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, before we bid these fans adieu, let's maybe I really think we did some great work last week. Let's give that to them let's answer a person's dilemma or whatever. Let's help.
Okay. Yes, if there's any relationship questions before. Yeah, we did actually. Our advice last week on long distance relationships actually was quite good advice, I believe.
It don't even have to be relationship. The other guy said about he had some fucking parents that think he's a loser.
Oh yeah, there was the guy. Yeah,
whatever kind of a question you want. Oh, and somebody said that the name of the shit is called Litway or Litway. It's like a weird offshoot of fucking Muay Thai.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, if there are any questions in here.
Yeah, somebody said that it's not like Bay Hum. No, if she gets the Bay, if I put the Bay Hum, that's it. It's a half.
Isn't Bay Rum in like Old Spice though?
Bay Hum is one of the old stuffs, That's when I.
No, I know. I know the
like
smell.
you get taken to Trader Vic's or whatever and Bay Hum, and then like that's like going out for a date in the early 70s or whatever. They take you to Dan
Right.
Tana's.
The
And then
Dan
you smell the
Tana's.
Bay. Yeah, Dan Chana.
Yeah,
and
no,
then afterward,
Trader Vic's. Yeah, I remember I used to have a set of some essential oil. I can't even say essential oils without laughing, but that I would use in my diffuser. And I think there was a bay rum scent and like a tobacco. It was like a man scent mix or something. It had like, tobacco, bay rum, like leather and like dirt or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, English leather, Bay Hum. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the earthy, manly shit. Musky,
Yeah.
they say. Like
Musky.
kind of like Jovan Musk or Brooch.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Renato. Cole McIntosh saying he's 22 and he's been with his girl for 7 years. How do I keep things fresh? I don't understand how you've had the same girl since you're only a teenager like that. Like, why? I guess my first question would be why?
Because it was the first piece of pussy he ever had. And that's, she put the hooks in there. And, when you're 13, 14, that shit is great. But then when you're 22 and you never had nothing else, then you start to go, well, caralho.
I would say keep it fresh by going to see other people and then figuring out if you still want to see each other after a little while because you're only 22. Like, what the actual F are you doing with the same person?
First of all, was it a male or a female? I thought it was a male.
I don't know. They just said
what's their name?
It's just Cole. Cole could be I'm not sure. But I don't know. I don't know.
My girl. It can't be. It can only be a female. I mean, he can only be a male. How are they gonna have my girl if it's
so girls don't date girls then, huh?
That's against my law. That's only okay.
At any rate, I'm not sure, but conventional wisdom might have Cole as a male.
Cole. I hope there's no female named Cole. So okay, Cole. Listen. I hate to say it.
See other people.
You gotta see other people because not even just for your sake, for her sake too. You gotta
live.
You guys is gonna build up when you're like 10 years from now, if you're still together and have never seen another person or whatever, I feel like you're gonna build up some fucking animosity or something against each other because you're gonna be like, I love this person, but they're keeping me from my adventure. Like from they're keeping me. Imagine Luke Skywalker. He never got off Tatooine, boy.
Yeah, you can't. I like it boggles my mind to even imagine. But that's also partly because I had no dates as a teenager. So like the idea of even A, having a date as a teenager is foreign to me, and then B, having a committed relationship that I was with somebody throughout my teenage years into my young 20s is just foreign to me. But I also wouldn't have wanted it. Like, I can't imagine, I did go to college and not everybody's doing that. But either way, in your young 20s, I can't imagine being tied down to some person that I've already got like a 7-year commitment with at 22. Like Renato said, like you are going to build up some resentment because you didn't even live. You didn't get out and see the world. Like you have nothing to base this against. Like, you don't know, the only quote unquote love is that one. Like, you don't know if that's actually good or bad because you have nothing to compare it to in a way. And like, sure, I suppose it could happen that that's truly the love of your life, but like, dude, really?
Like in a small town,
what are the chances?
And then you never get a chance to move or never even get to travel to, another fucking place or whatever. You know what I mean?
I cannot imagine. You
might be used to it and you might love it for nostalgia's sake. And you go, hey, that's my home. I love that place. But fuck, if you've never been out, you only ate Little Caesars and then you never had, New York pizza, or you never had, even Round Table.
Even Round Table. You never even got to go down to the not the 99s. What were you saying? Not the buck. What was the one where you said we said you go after work, where you could play the video games? The Beefsteak Charlie's, right? Exactly.
You went to Beefsteak. You went to HB's. You never even went to Beefsteak Charlie. He only went to Hoy Hodges. You remember they used to have the fucking
yes, with the Fixins bar.
Yeah, and then exactly, and they have that horsey sauce or whatever. Now he never been even to Beefsteak Charlie. He only been to Hoy Hodger.
Got to go to a different fixins bar.
White
They got
Castle.
different fixins at the other restaurants.
Yeah, he gotta try that one.
I can't imagine only having one flavor for my entire life
What's he-
either. Like that just boggles my mind. Like
Me
I
neither.
can't even consider it. Like I can't even.
Listen, what the fuck? Let me listen. So we fuck. This is hard because he didn't ask us if he should break up. He asked us how he keep it fresh. My brother, that's like asking, you know, how you keep broccoli that's been in your the drawer for, you know, 3 months. How you keep that one fresh? You don't. You throw that one into
And you're only 22. So if you're only 22, literally the salad days of your life, and you're already worrying about keeping this old bag fresh, dude. What?
If you can't keep a 22-year-old
bounce. If it's not fresh, bounce.
What's he saying? Let's hear. I need to hear some Detroit before we, you know, because
I don't know. We just sound like a couple of crusty old people, I guess. But like,
saying about
they haven't said anything. They haven't said anything further. So,
well, probably his girl is in the home going fucking.
Maybe we scared them. I'm sorry, Cole, but that seems to be the truth for both of us. Is saying, if you're already stressing out about keeping it fresh, then you need to not. It's not going to happen. Like that's. Yeah.
It's for her as much as it is for him.
Do yourselves a favor, exactly, and see other people for a while.
Explore. That's the only thing I can say. I just can't imagine. I mean, let's just say it's not for me, boy. That lifestyle is not for me.
Me neither. Okay, I'm not sure that was the one question we got so far. So, yep. That's it. I think people are starting to get a little. Yeah, I think we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess, Jim. If that's how you want it, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Plus, my speaker saying the battery is low. But anyway, I do think that is some good advice. And I hope that Cole heeds our advice because, yeah, I think at 22 you should not be in a 7-year relationship.
Yeah, I just feel like, in a way, of course, it sounds romantic if you have kids and your grandkids. One day, oh, my grandparents met in fucking junior high school and they loved each other till they fucking died, whatever. But then the flip side of that is like, for me, at the end of the line, when it's all said and done, you know, not at the risk of getting too deep about this, when at the funerals that I've ever been to, the stuffs that you really think about in someone's life is not like it's not the money that they amassed or whatever. You realize it comes down to experiences. How much experiences did they have? And not to say that you can't have a lot of experiences with your one person for the whole fucking life, but part of life is experiencing other people and other lovers and other relationships, good and bad. I think it's important to also have fucked up relationships that show you other stuffs, teach you other lessons, and say, oh, how much, even the bad relationships that I had taught me a lot about life and taught me, you know, teach you even more, hone in on what you like, you know. Oh, okay. And then you may not. I think that sometimes you outgrow some people. You might love the fuck out of each other, but maybe she needs to learn X, Y, and Z, and you need to learn that, and you go and spread out and
they gotta spread their wings and fly, little bird. Fly.
Your cheeks.
Your cheeks. Well, listen, Renato, I will say it has been very fun the last year spending my Tuesday evenings with you. It has really been fun. And so, yeah, folks should go and look back at the guest list. But yeah, we should look into doing that with Josh, and yeah, people can go and check out old shows, and we'll just keep booking guests. And if you guys have guests you hope to see, like, leave a comment sometimes in like on one of our posts or something, and just like tag the fighter or whomever too that you want to see on with us, because that'd be fun. Maybe I'll do a post like that, like, who do you guys want to see on with us or something, to see like who by popular demand you guys are hoping to see.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Yeah. Any stuff that people would like to see, let us know. We may or may not take the advices, from you.
But all right, Renato. Well, where can everybody find you on social media, on the socials?
Oh, Renato _Laranja.
Okay.
_Laranja. And go to the Instagram. Tell your friends. Get them on there. This time is, there's no time like now to follow your Uncle Renato. Get on there.
That's right. There's no time like now. And you can find him on Twitter. So you can also go to fistivities.com. That's where you can find all of our shows. If you're looking for me over on Twitter and on YouTube, it's Karyn Bryant, Karyn. Bryant as in Kobe, no relation, but may he rest in peace. Over on Instagram, I'm at KB Heat. But thank you so much for joining us. And again, you can also find these as audio downloads on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. So hopefully you can check it out. But we appreciate you joining us. And we will see you on the next one, Renato. And thank you to Alan Jouban for joining us this week. That was fun.
Here's to another year. Another fucking year.
Here's to us.
Here's another year. Here's to us. I you know what? I almost freshened up, and then I thought if I do, I'm gonna start really going overboard. But another year, and we'll see if this guy Cole is with his broad another year. Another yeah. No, you know what? I wish them the best. Listen, how about this, Cole? You can find out a way to keep that shit fresh after 7 years, and you're 22 and all that. How about you teach us about that?
No, so you tell us, right?
Back here, you tell us, because we fucking don't know. And I'm sorry, we a lot of time we're not stumped, but obviously you got two salty caramel over here who haven't figured out the answer to that one.
Yep.
So if you got the answer how you can keep it fresh, fucking the same person for the rest of your life, you drop a line to your Uncle Hanachi. I would love to know that secret.
Definitely. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.